What's going on? What's going on? It's your brother outside the cube. We are live. Yes, we are live. Live and direct. Yes. What's happening? What's happening? Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to cover this. Peace to everybody. Everybody within the sound of my voice. Peace to you. Peace to you. I wanted to cover this partially because I didn't catch the entirety of the debate. I did not catch the entirety. Peace to my main man, Spiderface. Six. What's going on with you, man? Thank you so much for tuning in and stopping through. You know, we love you around here, bro. Like I said, firstly, and partially because I wasn't able to catch the entirety of the debate. I was watching the game. I was watching the game. Hate watching the damn Chiefs, hoping that the Giants would be able to pull one out. They didn't, of course, but yeah. So I then once I saw the game start getting whatever, I said let me tune in, and as I was tuning in, I was just like, oh, this dude is over here getting washed. This dude is over here getting washed. And it was a sad sight to see. Fuck it. I'm just gonna say it. It was a sad sight to see, but I'm glad it happened. Because see, certain people, they have to get washed in order for them to understand where they are in the pecking order. JJ is a person that, he just likes to debate just for the sake of debate. If somebody says something on the surface that he slightly disagrees with, he'll say, well, let's debate it. And then he'll go do the research about it. Like he doesn't deal with topics to where like he's actually researched these things and he understands the ins and outs, the pros and cons of these things. He may just understand it. Well, excuse me, let me take that back. He may just know of it from a surface level point of view. And this is where he gets his disagreements from, and then he tries to go and research. But we saw that his research was awful, terrible, and it didn't help him or offer any assist tonight. But before we get into it, I did put a monologue together, and I'm going to get into my monologue, and then we're going to get right into debate. So let me get to my monologue. JJ's performance should be considered an affront to what debate is. Every question that was asked, he spun that off to talk about randomness, to where he even mentioned the Chinese and other nonsensical items that we know weren't germane to the debate. Rakufu said in the Q&A from the audience that JJ won because you said it was the best. Well, in debate, when a person says thing A is the best, you now, JJ, have to show that thing A isn't the best. So when JJ says, it's not my job to offer refutations on what DMG said, shows his knowledge is tangential in the smallest capacity. The asking for movements being centered around people, standing on street corners is just plain low level thinking and understanding. W.E.B. Du Bois' talent in 10th was the best of us should lead us. There's 7.5 thousand legislators. 545 members are in Congress. 100 are senators. 435 are from the House of Representatives. America is being led by less than a tenth of a percent of its population. But JJ, he has an issue with W.E.B. Du Bois's talent in 10th, saying that the best and brightest should lead black people. But he would acquiesce to the governmental structure of the 545 lawmakers leading 350 million people in the United States. JJ is a fool. JJ is a fool. There are no white, black existentialists. See, his self-hatred can't compete with the problem of externality of there being blacks in America that did something without whites, akin to black liberals who are only liberal because of their indoctrination and proximity to whiteness. The question persists. What's worse, a black liberal, a lost nigga, or an incompetent Negro who can't see greatness in themselves without the machinations of whites? There is what I started off with, just to drop, and then we're going to get right into it. I had to say that because based off of what I was listening to, I think that summed up JJ. Just the quintessential ignorant Negro who can't see the forest for the trees. So let's go ahead and get into the debate. I didn't see the beginning of it, so I want to start here. Let's go.
That is the topic. And we're going to go. You got 3 minutes, DMG, in your opening argument. Are you ready, brother?
I'm ready.
Okay. Time will start when you start speaking.
All right. Black existentialism began as a pre-colonial and slavery era writings with figures like Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass in the 19th century, which explored the themes of freedom and self-identification.
So I do have to say this, but he's wrong. It wasn't pre-colonial. It wasn't pre-colonial because by saying pre-colonial, you're talking about like the 15 and 1600s. So it wasn't pre-colonial. It was really post-slavery, if you will. It was post-slavery construction era philosophy is what it was. But he kind of got that wrong. But
This was followed by the early 20th century work, which saw more explicit development through thinkers such as W.E.B. Du Bois, Richard Wright, and more psychological philosophers such as Frantz Fanon, who grappled with the racial alienation of Black people, the existential crisis of Black identity, and the struggle for meaning in an oppressive society. Black existentialism is a philosophy that serves as a living record of Black people's struggle. It's a way in which we can define ourselves in a world that is constantly trying to erase us. From people like Frederick Douglass, who I already talked about, to the reflections of the normal everyday Black person as it pertains to freedom and human dignity, all the way up and through Lewis R. Gordon, who makes a call for self-identification through our identification as descendants of Africa and those who are on the African continent.
And see, that point right there is very important. It's very important because post-slavery, pre-construction era, this was the philosophy that Black people were trying to kick. Because I heard, but I saw Dr. Inky come into the chat later on and say, well, Black existentialism is, foundational to atheism. It's like, no, slow down. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just another bird. Bro, the majority of these people were Christians, bro. They were Christians. So this is something that Black people were actively doing to assist ourselves in making ourselves great again, if you will. So we were trying to pull ourselves out of the muck and the mire that slavery had done to us. We were trying to escape that. But see, now today, how it's used to stop the erasure. Now, me, myself, I'm not a Black existentialist, but I also hold a lot of those tenets because mostly what I hold chiefly is communism. I hold that chiefly, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that I can't, grab and hold on to whatever's necessary for us to move forward. You see what I'm saying?
Black existentialism is the quintessential philosophy and ideology for those who are trying to reclaim what it means to be Black and to live in it authentically. That being said, my opponent tonight has no understanding of this concept. He continues to mislead and try to misguide the actual conflict that we having, because he thinks Black existentialism is one and the same with existentialism. Tonight.
And I think that's the problem when it comes to JJ 7000, is because he's looking at existentialism, the word, the philosophical term, and he doesn't understand that when you add Black onto it, it evolves and becomes something totally different. So he doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand that.
I'm going to show him the difference.
You have another minute.
All right, let me continue. So Franz Fanon, as I said, is probably the quintessential Black existentialist philosopher. He wrote works like The Wretched of the Earth, Black Faces, White Mask, and he influenced people like Stokely Carmichael, the Black Panther Party, and many others, including James Baldwin and Lewis R. Gordon. Lewis R. Gordon being the preeminent Black existentialist debater today. That being said, Black existentialism is about Black people's existence on this earth, our struggle for freedom over oppression. And again, I'm gonna identify all of these things and show that my opponent has no clue what it is he's even debating.
Right, and that's the problem, is because JJ 7000, from what I gathered, maybe these first couple of rounds will make me think different, but from what I gathered, JJ 7000 has no idea of what Black existentialism actually is, because he's so caught up on existentialism and he's not focusing on Black existentialism. Because see, you could talk about, okay, history, but if you want to talk about Black history, you have to hone in on a specific time frame. You have to hone in on a specific time frame, and it feels like, from what I heard, JJ just either wasn't equipped or wasn't studied enough, or whatever he studied, he wasn't able to grasp it. And see, a lot of times what I notice about these low-level debaters is what they'll do is, when they're going against what you're talking about, they won't actually study what you're talking about. Like take, for example, right? Something as simple as homophobia. What they'll do is they'll look at phobia and take the word phobia, and it means to like be afraid of something, to be terrified of something. So they'll take homophobia and be like, well, I'm not afraid of homosexual people. Wrong. That's not what homophobia is. Homophobia is not that you're afraid of homosexual or gay people or same gender loving people. That's not what it is. Homophobia is something totally different. And I think this is what JJ 7000 was doing. He was taking it out of context. And once you take it out of context and you try to form your debate around an out of context thought, you have a debate to where one person is talking about one thing, another person is talking about another thing, and you never get anywhere. But let's continue.
Tom, right on point. Good. All right. Thank you, my brother. Go on mute. Mandinka Mali, time will start when you're ready, brother. You have 3 minutes.
In about like maybe 15, 20 minutes, I'll drop the link if people want to come in and chop it up about it. I'll definitely drop the link. But let's listen a little bit. Let's go.
Your opening. Unmute yourself, brother.
Yeah, peace and blessings, ladies and gentlemen. The HOK Gold is back in the building. The most feared debater on this planet, Lions Den Debates. Hey, CEO. And listen to this. I want all y'all to really pay attention to what he's bringing to the table, right? So he said he bringing up one guy named Franz Fanon, right? This guy did not create a movement.
France Fanning. This dude said Franz Ferdinand probably maybe 3 or 4 times, and he still can't say the word properly. That's, bro, listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. If you can't pronounce a word, that's problematic. I don't care what nobody say. It's not, oh, man, you just going in on the brother because he can't say the word. No, if you can't say a word and if you haven't applied yourself to actually say the word properly, that's problematic in and of itself. But let's go.
There is no organization for existentialism. So worthy of so good afternoon, honorable judges, worthy opponents, and fellow debaters. Today we gather to discuss a crucial topic.
See, already what JJ is talking about is fallacious, because what he said is there's no organization. So if you have a thought, black existentialism is a philosophical thought. If it's a philosophical thought, you don't need an organization. You don't need like the fake black Hebrew Israelites on the corners preaching or teaching this. This is not what you need. It's a philosophical thought. It's a position. So you don't need an organization. You don't need people pushing this. That's not what you need. He doesn't understand it. This is why he goes into, well, there's no organization. Who's the leader? Like, it's very juvenile.
That has shaped the experiences of black people for centuries. It's going to be black collectivism versus black existentialism.
That makes no goddamn sense. Black collectivism? Can we collectivize around black existentialism? Of course we can. But can we also collectivize ourselves around black existentialism, also around Pan-Africanism? Like, yes, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. But JJ is so inept, he doesn't understand that those barriers that he thinks are there, they actually aren't there. But for the sake of him just wanting to debate, just to debate, he can't see it. He's the one that's putting up these blinders. He's the one that's putting up these walls when these walls don't actually exist. Because if he had understood what black existentialism was, he wouldn't be saying the things that he's saying, unfortunately.
I have black Pan-Africanism versus black existentialism. I have black nationalism versus black existentialism. I have the black church and the Nation of Islam. All of these collective movements.
All right, really quick, and I'll let him go after this. Can you be a part of the the black church, be a black nationalist, and also be a Pan-Africanist? He said, I got the black church. I got black nationalism. I got Pan-Africanism. Well, let me ask you, can you be a part of the black church, a Pan-Africanist, and also a black nationalist? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can be all three. But for the slow mind, unfortunately for JJ 7000, he doesn't get that. He thinks it's a versus. He thinks it's a either or. No. One thing you can't be is a communist and also a capitalist. One thing you cannot be is a black nationalist and also a white supremacist. Those things are contrary positions. But JJ, for some reason, we know the reason. JJ doesn't understand these things. He hasn't studied enough. He hasn't read enough. This is not a well-read person. This is a person that hasn't read anything pursuant to this debate and is showing right now. But I'm going to let him go.
Against an individual movement, and he got one guy named Fran. Another guy's named Rude Paul and Richard Baldwin, a whole bunch of gay guys in front of this movement. Individualism is what you see when you deal with existentialism. The Black collectivism has been the backbone of our struggle. Our freedom and equality from the abolitionist movement. You won't see no existentialist movement in the abolitionist movement, Sarnetta.
Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button.
By supporting one another, Black people have achieved remarkable progress in overcoming obstacles. The Black church, the Nation of Islam, the Marcus Garveys. See, his leaders, when he brought up W.E.B. Du Bois, this guy promotes eugenics. This guy promotes Planned Parenthood and got a letter with Margaret Sanger. Individualism.
Yo, I'm sorry, but this is stupidity on every level. I'm sorry, I had to stop it. This is stupidity, y'all.
It's nothing but when it leads back to collectivism. You're gonna be in trouble, sir, when you're trying to get in front of our people and tell us that individualism is the best ideology for our people. The best ideology for our people.
Notice how he keeps droning on about individualism, but you know what he won't do? He won't show how Black existentialism is individualism. That's going to be task number 1, and hold that in the back of your head. Hold that in the back of your head. Is JG, because this is the opening round. I'm going to write it down right now. Individualism. I'm going to write it down right now. He's going to have to show us that Black existentialism is individualism. Right, Garvey was a Catholic. So he's going to have to show us that Black existentialism comports to fucking individualism. He's going to have to show that to us. So hold that, and let's see if he actually shows that this is a thing that's true. But let's go. Peace to my brother Cuban Crisis, by the way.
How? There is no groundwork with existentialism, but you can go and look up the 25 components of Pan-Africanism. You can go look up the 25 components of Black collectivism. You can go look up Afrocentricism. You can go look up African spirituality. He's finna get in front of us and tell us that Black existentialism is the best ideology for our people. That's where you're gonna have a problem in this debate, sir. Because this comes from Europeans. He wants to try to separate it. But the founding forefathers of this movement, of this is not even a movement, of this psychology, ideology.
He's struggling with it, but he just pointed out what it was. This ideology. So if you understand that it's an ideology, then you have to also understand when you say this stupid shit about the movement, you have to understand these things, but he doesn't, unfortunately.
Come from Europe. I'm going to you people from Africa.
Tom.
Philosophers.
All right, we're headed into the first round. Tom, brother. Tom, you don't hear me? All right, we're going into the first round. DMG, do you have anything you want to put up? A PowerPoint presentation or what? Can't hear you, brother.
I got a slide a few slides I want to show.
Okay, put it up. Let me know, and then when you start, you got 10 minutes in your first round. You got 10 minutes in this round.
Got you. Give me 1 second.
Brothers, there's no ad hominems and there's no profanity. So there's no calling each other names. That's the people come for the information, and there is no profanity.
Let me get this pulled up.
And that is fine.
All right.
Okay.
All right. This is called Freedom Defined. Black existentialism as the ultimate path to Black liberation. I'm just going to get into my intro. Give me a second. Let me see. Stop shaking.
It's up and running. Time will start when you start speaking.
All right. This is my intro. Black existentialism began with the pre-colonial and slavery era writings of figures like Frederick Douglass in the 19th.
Once again, the brother, he's off on that. It most certainly wasn't pre-colonial, but yeah, he's definitely wrong about that. It wasn't pre-colonial, but it was slavery era, post-Reconstruction.
19th century, which explored themes of freedom and self-identification. This was followed by the early mid-20th century, which saw a more explicit development through thinkers such as W.E.B. Du Bois, Richard Wright, and philosopher Frantz Fanon, who grappled with racial alienation, the existential crisis of Black identity, and the struggle for meaning in an oppressive society. Black existentialism is a philosophy that serves as a living record of our struggle to define ourselves in a world built to erase us. From Frederick Douglass' 19th century reflections on freedom and human dignity through W.E.B. Du Bois' call for self-identification after slavery to Richard Wright and Ralph Ellison's explorations of alienation, this tradition centers the Black experience as the starting point for understanding existence. Frantz Fanon exposed the psychological toll of racism and colonialization, while Stokely Carmichael carried existentialist ideas into the Black Power movement, proving that this framework fuels action as well as thought. Black existentialism shows us that meaning is not handed down by oppressive systems it created. It is created by us, for us. That is why it stands as the most powerful and relevant ideology for Black people seeking freedom, dignity, and self-determination today.
Oh, let me go back to that. I disagree with that, because he goes on to say that's why it stands as the most powerful and relevant ideology. I disagree with that, because I would say that the most powerful and relevant ideology would be communism, especially when we're talking about Black people seeking freedom, identity, and self-determination. It will most certainly be communism. It wouldn't be Black existentialism, because under Black existentialism, you're still subject to capitalism, which seeks to erase who you are, because capitalism has the opportunity using monies, and it has the ability to erase who you are, no different than as we stand today, to where we see Donald Trump is trying to take away. Like right now, you can be a Black existentialist, and we still see Donald Trump trying to rid the United States of America from a lot of things that are in slave museums and things of that nature. But if you have communism, it's impossible for that to happen. It's impossible for those things to happen. But let's go.
Dignity, and self-determination today. Black existentialism, or Africana critical theory, is a school of thought that critiques domination and affirms the empowerment of Black people in the world. Although it shares a word with existentialism, and that philosophy is concerned with existence and meaning in life, it is predicated on the liberation of all Black people in the world from oppression. It also may be seen as a method, which allows one to read works by African-American writers such as W.E.B. Du Bois, James Baldwin, Frantz Fanon, William R. Gordon, and Ralph Ellison in an existentialist frame. Lewis Gordon argues that Black existentialism is not only existential philosophy produced by Black philosophers, but is also a thought that carries the intersection of problems of existence in Black contexts. So let's talk about definitions.
Okay, now I have a slight critique, not a slight critique, just a critique, because if he goes back here and he says, well, Lewis Gordon argues that Black existentialism is not only existential philosophy produced by a Black philosopher, but is also a thought that addresses the intersection of problems of existence in Black context. Well, bro, your next slide needs to deal with what is that intersection. What is that intersection? Is it being black and male? Is it because see now when you deal with the intersection, you now have to go into, well, it's being black and being a former slave. It's being black and it's being a woman. You see what I'm saying? So he probably should have went into what that actual intersection was, and he probably would have got a few more points maybe with me. Probably not to the people he was talking to, because a lot of them motherfuckers are just, they don't get a lot of this shit. But when you talk about intersections, it's best to explain what these intersections are, because it does a great job at pushing the narrative of your point.
In Black context. So let's talk about definitions. Existentialism has a concern with existence, freedom, choice, and authenticity, while Black existentialism concerns itself with existential reflection rooted in anti-Black racism and colonialism. It critiques domination and affirms Black agency. Historical context. The transatlantic slave trade, colonialism, Jim Crow were all determining factors as it pertained to these thoughts that began to encompass what would later become Black existentialist thought or Africana critical theory. People like Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, and others. I can't remember my sister's name, but she was a poet in the 19th century. They all their writings became the proto framework for what we now call Black existentialism or Africana critical theory. Black thought resisting oppression. And that's essentially what it comes down to. These individuals wrote and had thoughts about what it would be like to overthrow the oppressive forces that had been thrust upon them. And we needed a philosophy that addressed the state of being Black in this oppressive anti-Black society.
Now, let me add this just because of me. When he says we needed a philosophy to address, hold on, let me read what he said because you really can't see it. He has it cut off for some reason. Brother, you have to do it different next time.
And we needed a philosophy that addressed the state of being Black in this oppressive anti-Black society.
Right. So we needed a philosophy to address it being Black and oppressed. Now, see, this is why I uphold communism more, is because in a communistic society, what you do not have is you do not have one race being over another race. It's just people working towards the betterment or the greatness for those that are around them. So this is why communism would work better in this situation, even though you could take a lot of the traits from Black existentialism. You could definitely take a lot of those traits, but communism actually satisfies so many of the things that Black people want, white people want, Spanish people, Indian, like it just satisfies so many of those things. But let's continue.
WEB.
Hold on, Solomon says, is that link good? It's not working. No, that's a good link, bro. Yeah, that's a good link. I was just saying, give me like 15 minutes because I didn't see this part of the debate. I didn't see this part of the debate, so I kind of wanted to see this part. But yeah, I'll definitely let people in so we can chop it up. So yeah, just hold tight for about 10 minutes because I didn't see this part.
Du Bois' double consciousness. Here he deals with the internal conflict and fragmented sense of self-experience by African Americans who are forced to see themselves not only through their own eyes, but also through the racist and stereotype lens of the dominant white society.
Now here, this is exactly a perfect, thing that I would take from Black existentialism. I would take this from Black existentialism and use it to push all peoples who are marginalized forward. I would definitely use that. So I want to make it clear that I'm not trying to make it seem like, communism is a fucking panacea, because there's other things that need to be worked out. And what happens, so often is that people on the left, they're so concerned with communism that they forget that, hey, marginalized people are still being fucking marginalized. So we still have to fight for these people so they can come up out of that shit. You see what I'm saying? So, like, this is a great point, and I'm glad he brought this out.
And Frederick Douglass is a key point in Black existentialist philosophy, because his book, The Souls of Black Folks, his theory of the double consciousness, all became frameworks for what would later become the modern thought process of Black existentialists. And he influenced writers like Ralph Ellison, James Baldwin, Lewis R. Gordon, Franz Fanon, etc. William R. Jones. Black existential philosophy came to the academy in the 1970s in the work of William R. Jones, who argued for a humanistic response to Black suffering through facing the absurd as found in the thought of Albert Camus and dealing with the contradictions of theological beliefs. Jones drew from existential philosophy to reject non-verifiable claims posed by Black theology, where history is presented as God trying to liberate Black people. Historical evidence, Jones suggests, says,
I don't see you in the back. Who's that, Jose? I don't see you in the back. Hit the link, bro. I'm about to open it up.
Otherwise. Instead of relying on God, Black people should take their lives and history into their own hands and build a better future for themselves. This is not to say that Jones took the position that Blacks who believe in God should not love God. His point is that they should not rely on God for the elimination of injustice on earth. His most notable work, and everybody should go get this book, it's called Is God a White Racist? Again, that is by William R. Jones. Everybody should go get that book, Is God a White Racist? And again, this is one of the most notable Black existentialist writers and philosophers. Franz Fanon. Franz Fanon, whose name our brother JJ couldn't pronounce. Franz Fanon is a central figure in Black.
Peace. We got the truest in the back. Give me about 5 more minutes. I just want to listen to a little bit more. We definitely gonna let you brothers sound off. We definitely gonna let y'all sound off.
Existentialism, which applies existential philosophy to the specific condition of Black people under colonialism and racism. Fanon argued that due to colonization, Black individuals are forced to see themselves as objects in the eyes of the white world, a state of alienation and existential deviation where their identity is defined by the dominant culture rather than their own. This results in a psychological burden, a lack of self-identification, and a longing for white recognition that ultimately fails to affirm their true humanity.
Right. So this is what Black existentialism was doing. And for JJ to not be able, for JJ 7000 to not be able to understand this basic thing that Black existentialism was trying to do shows you that JJ didn't study this topic. JJ didn't study this. What JJ did was he went on ChatGPT or whatever it was, and he tried to find the flaws in it, and he just went to attack those. Unfortunately for JJ, when he does research, he doesn't look at the other side of the argument, because in a lot of these arguments that we may find ourselves in, what you will find mostly is that you agree mostly. You agree mostly, but you just agree with one small thing here or one small thing there, and this is what caused JJ to say, "Well, let's debate it. Let's debate it." And JJ was just wrong as usual. Let's continue.
And some of his seminal works were Black Faces, White Masks, The Wretched of the Earth. And his existential deviation, he makes the statement that due to a lack of, due to a loss of history and culture, the Black individual and the Black collective are constantly trying to redefine identity. And that points to why, like brothers like our brother JJ claim to be a Hebrew Israelite. You got some brothers claiming to be Moroccan Moors. You got some people claiming to be the tribe of Shabazz.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Gotcha. This existential deviation explains why.
Bro, I gotta be honest with y'all. That is a motherfucking Jimmy Neutron bomb. That's a bomb. That's a bomb. Because this existential deviation, it tells us why you have fake Black Hebrew Israelites. Why you have people thinking that they're Moors, people thinking that they're fucking Native American Indians, people thinking that they're this or that. This is why. Like, this is exactly why. Because, see, a lot of people want to say, well, see, you know, everything was taken from us and this and this and that. Yes, that is true, too. But you have to understand that at the turn of the century, they were already discussing these things. They had already figured this out. But see, the problem is we don't read. So this is why a Tariq Nasheed is so easy to come into the community, overtake you with flair and debonair, and you could just be like, oh, well, damn, I guess I was just an Indian, and we was just never Black, and you know, we never came over here on the slave ships. This is why it was so easy, because of what he's pointing out. Because of that state of alienation. Because of that state of alienation, it causes an existential deviation. If you would have asked me, I'm gonna be real with y'all. If you would have asked me and you would have been like, yo, if Chris Harris would have debated this dude, JJ7000, on this, you know what I would have said? I would have been like, man, I don't know. Because I understand Chris Harris, a lot of times he'll just, you know, join himself to some shit that he doesn't fully understand. And he'll just say, I'm this now. Like when he said he was a capitalist, I'm this now. And then when I offered to debate him, he didn't want to do it, all of the other shit. I would have been like, I don't know. But, you know, hindsight is 2020. But looking back at it, Chris Harris would have fucking killed this nigga JJ too. I don't think that Chris Harris would have killed this nigga how DMG did it. I don't think he would have done that. I think it probably would have been like some kind of nail biter. But I really don't think that Chris Harris would have cooked this nigga how DMG is cooking him.
These issues of self-identification arose.
But hold on, we got a few people in the back. I'm gonna let we got the Truist and Jose in the back. Go ahead, Truist, what's going on with it, man? What's popping, bro? Talk to me.
What's up, brother? We actually here in the back, we can't hear the video as you playing it.
No, I know.
I know that happens sometimes. But yeah, no, it's a good conversation. I like when they have debates on different topics we don't hear all the damn time.
Yeah, actual topics that, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
like especially when it's ideological, philosophical kind of combos. But like you said, I don't think JJ is equipped on black existentialism enough to debate it. He might have, even in his research, looked at existentialism as in its like singular form
Right.
without attaching the blackened version of it. But my problem with how DMG is DMG is doing a great job, but one thing I think JJ could have used is the fact that you have to accept the European construct of blackness in order to have your ideology of black existentialism, and
I
that would be
disagree with
counter.
that.
Okay, so when we're talking about black existentialists, right? The way he described it is he's describing people that went through the transatlantic slave trade, Reconstruction, and Jim Crow here in the United States.
Who? Who?
That that's what DMG just described
Well, hold
in
on.
this first round.
Well, I'll let you finish it now, Opine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going off of how he described who these black existentialists would be. And I'm saying based off of how he described it, that would eliminate those that stayed on the shores of West Africa. That would eliminate our brothers in the Caribbean, in South America, in East Africa, and in South and Central Africa. This is something that, for many reasons, would be problematic. And furthermore, again, you would have to accept the social construct of blackness, which is a European social construct, to see yourself as a member of this black society that are existentialists. You would have to first accept that, and that would be counterintuitive to the entire point of black existentialism.
Okay. Well, let me tell you why I disagree with what you're saying. Before they were defining who black people was, what it is to be black, who was defining what it was to be black?
The first people that would have used that term in another language.
No. I'm not asking that. I'm not asking about the first people that used the term. What I'm asking is who before the black existentialists defined what it is to be black and who is black. Who defined what it was to be black? Who defined that?
It would be the colonial powers of Europe.
Right. So, with that being said, you have to agree that the black existentialists, what they did was they redefined what it is to be black, what the struggle is, what they should and what they should not be doing.
No. What would be the remix definition of the racial category of black that the existentialists are using versus what the colonialists did? Because to me, it seems like
I can tell you. No, I'll
Can I
tell you.
jump in here, Qube?
Hold on, real quick. What the whites, the colonialists, the slave was doing? They just reserved us to just be slaves, to where we were just tools. We were just tools. So that's how they looked at us. So when you take a person like W.B. Du Bois and black existentialists, what they were doing is they were talking about our existence of us being actual people of mind, body, of sound, mind, body, and thought. So they took that away from them to where we weren't just tools. We weren't just a hoe or something that you would use to do whatever with. We were actual people. So they redefined what a black person was.
Okay, let me ask.
Do you agree with that?
Partially. I agree with what you're saying.
So which part do you not agree with? Which part do you not agree with?
All the way up into a certain point in American history, you're exactly right. That is how black was defined and seen
by white people, right? By white people, right?
Yes.
Okay,
but hold on, Qube. But at a certain point in American history that he mentioned, which is Reconstruction, right? And
No, no, he didn't mention
Jim
that. I
Crow.
mentioned that. He messed
No,
that up.
he mentioned it. You could play
No,
his
no, he
first
messed
round
it
again.
up. No, no, no. But it's okay. Go ahead. It's cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna say because he mentioned Reconstruction.
He never mentioned
mentioned
Reconstruction. I mentioned that because he messed it up. He kept saying pre-colonial, and I was saying Reconstruction. But go ahead. It's okay.
But brother, W.E.B. Du Bois is during Reconstruction.
That's what I said, bruh. That's why I said
But
he messed it up.
so I'm saying he's mentioning the Reconstruction era and Jim Crow.
He wasn't, bro.
James Baldwin, brother. James Baldwin is in the 60s.
Bro, listen. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. He said, look, I could go back to the slide that he showed. He said black existentialism is a pre-colonial thought. What I said no, it's not pre-colonial.
Oh,
yes,
okay,
I said it's not pre-colonial. It's post-slavery construction era thought. I corrected him.
Okay.
So when you're saying what you're saying, you're hearing my voice in your head, not him. You ain't hearing his voice because he messed it up. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I got
That's
you.
it.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But okay. So he's hearkening to, and he's mentioning figures and thought leaders from the Reconstruction and Jim Crow era.
Right.
And during those eras, black people, yes, while we had less rights, right, we were considered humans at that point. Second class, third class citizens, yes, but we are considered, especially by the time James Baldwin is given his ideology, right?
But
we are definitely not seen as just tools at that point. And you can argue as a communist, Qube, right? In this society, everyone's seen as a tool to a degree.
Okay, well, see, now you're going somewhere else, and I have to agree with that due to me being a communist. I have to agree with that. But if we stick along with the trail that he was going on, he was really talking about a specific time because look at the people he was talking about. Now, he did mention James Baldwin, which was 60 years later. I wish he hadn't, because I even said he talked about intersectionalism. I said, damn, bro, I wish he would have went into the intersectionalism of the time of post-slavery and Reconstruction. If he had dealt with the Reconstruction era, you wouldn't have to bring up a James Baldwin because he wasn't even born until 1932. So, well, not 1932.
Yeah, he could have just stuck with Du Bois.
Right. So
just stuck with
Right. So I understand that. But at the same time, if you look at where he was kind of going with it, because he did bring up W.B. Du Bois and so forth and so on, at that time, you did have a portion of America that did look at us as actual human beings and whatever. But there was still half of the country that lost the fucking war that didn't look at us that way. So, yeah, you can say that yeah, we were, listen, if you go back to If you go back to 1895, we had the ability, we had the rights to vote. But guess what? We never could vote because of what? In 1895, we had the right to vote. But why was it that we could never vote? Why was it?
The majority of us at that time lived in parts of the country.
No. I'm asking you a specific question. We had the right to vote, but why was it we couldn't vote? We had the right to do it, but why couldn't we physically go do it?
Yeah, there was powers that be that stopped us from.
But what? Okay, so tell me, what were those powers? Like, what happened that we couldn't?
Racist.
It was the KKK.
The dominant society.
It was the KKK. They didn't allow us to go vote. They would bomb us. They would kill us. They would do all type of shit to where we couldn't go to the polls to vote. So when he's saying what he's saying, he is right, because half of the country, just like right now, you got half of the country is MAGA. Stupid as hell. Even in those times, you had half of the country that still, even after they lost the war, they still didn't want us to vote. They would put us through all of these fucking mathematic exams that if we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, then you couldn't vote.
But Qube. Here's what I'm saying. At the same time, all of this is happening, right, on the shores of West Africa, in Central Africa, and in East Africa, at the same time period, in places where it's majority black people, they are seeing themselves as black. I mean, as human, right? That problem, that unique problem that us black people had here in a predominantly white society is not in terms of having a issue of being seen as human, right? In these countries where you had black people amongst themselves for the most part, right, while being dominated by colonial forces externally, internally they don't have that issue we had. So this is where I'm saying,
what issue is that?
What you're speaking of right now in regards to seeing black people as human. And that society has always seen blacks as lesser than. And at the point in time you're speaking to, right, the white society at that period didn't see us as human whatsoever. I'm saying when it comes to West, Central, and East Africa, yes, obviously you had external colonial forces.
But who's bringing them up though? Like
I'm bringing it up because to call yourself a black existentialist, in the manner he's doing, you would have to accept the colonial definition of blackness.
No, you don't.
Okay, so
listen, hold on, really quick, bro. Listen, really quick. What he just did was, and I played it, he showed you a definition and showed you that they were trying to separate themselves from the colonial powers, if you will.
But how do you do that? By accepting a term that was formulated during colonialism?
No, bro, listen, hold on, watch this, bro. You have to understand this part. You have to. There is no such thing as a white black existentialist. Do you understand that?
I could argue that.
No, you can't. Listen, bro.
That.
Listen, hold on. Listen. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Listen. Hold on, really quick. Hey, Jose. I'm gonna let you go. Jose. This is the point he's making. Black people started something new, and they were the in group. There was no such thing as a white person that was a black existentialist. White people couldn't, it's not that they couldn't join, that wasn't something that was for them. So what he's saying is there was no white people that were black existentialists because this is something that we were doing. So
it's a philosophy, it's an ideology, right?
But please, bro, hold on. You got to hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
You got to hear me out. So when he says there's no such thing as a white existentialist, what you have to understand is that we're not acquiescing to anything what the fuck the colonial powers are doing. Is because we've created our own shit. So much so that white people are not in this. So there's
Qube.
Come on, bro. How do you not understand that, dog?
Qube. This is a philosophy or an ideology that we're discussing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so hear me.
You about to say something crazy, bro. You about to say something crazy.
So please, and after he say that, let me, because I know what he's going to say. Please let me respond to what he's about to say.
But you gotta let him finish first.
No, I know. That's what I'm. Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying.
This is crazy, bro. Don't do it, dog. Please don't say it.
What is the core tenet of this philosophy / ideology we're talking about?
You know what the core tenet is? It's FUBU, nigga. For us, by us. That's the fucking tenet. That's the core tenet.
Wait. Yeah. So in black existentialism, it demands that the person with this ideology be black.
Yes,
that is a requirement.
No. You thinking about it? Well, hold on. Let me chime in, because like you thinking about this is the problem, right? In black philosophers, have always had to confront this perspective of philosophy. And that is the ivory tower disconnected intellectual as opposed to the grounded organic intellectual. And so like when you say that black existentialism demands a certain thing, it's not that the ideology demands it, it's that the ideology itself is formulated off of an experience. It is formulated off of the experience of being colonized, having your identity stripped from you, and a new identity created
So white
within the
people can't
colonial
connect
framework.
with it. White people can't
Right.
even connect.
Hold on.
Hold on, let him
Here's it.
finish.
So when we're talking about where the ideology stems from, this is a specific black existentialism is a specific rejection of white world making
Right.
and a recreation and a re-understanding of our identity from the perspective of our experiences. It's not this disconnected like, oh, anybody can just pick it up and be it, like Christianity or you know what I'm saying, or any other like socialism or just shit like that. Not black existentialism literally stems from the experiences of black people and the experience of colonization and what that meant for their identity and how they understood
And
themselves.
hold on.
Right?
And
Wait,
this.
hold on,
No,
hold on, hold on. And peace, Domo, peace,
hold
go ahead,
on.
Q. Yeah.
Hold on. And this is why you can't have a white, black fucking existentialist. You can't have it because they don't share the same experience that black people have. It's impossible. This is what he was pointing out, and he shared it perfectly. Like
Okay,
DMG shared this shit perfectly, and this is what I'm trying to.
Cube. This is what I'm saying. I can make the same
You
argument that
cannot,
wait,
bro.
hear me out. I can
Well,
make the same argument that there are other black people, not even just across the Atlantic, but elsewhere in the diaspora over here
So
that
what?
don't have the same
So
experience
what?
as black
but hold on,
people.
but you do understand that
Hold on.
France Fanon
But that's not.
wasn't US
But
centric though. Like France
but Q,
Fanon wasn't even specifically talking about the experience of the Black American.
But
but
He was talking about the experience of the Black diaspora. So the ideology in and of itself and how the ideology understands blackness isn't tied to one particular region because the argument is that the experience of blackness is global, regardless of the region.
Right. But what it hinges upon is colonialism, correct?
no,
No,
it's not
but when you
colonialism.
say well,
Hold
no,
on.
let's address that though. When you say what it hinges upon, that characterization misunderstands
That
the
word is doing a lot of
experience of
work.
it misunderstands the experience of colonization that necessitated black existentialism. So we like if you're saying that, well, you wouldn't be having this conversation if it wasn't for colonization. Like, yes, that's correct because we
No.
wouldn't have to deal
That's
with.
not my point. That's not my point. What I'm
Okay, so yeah,
what
so
I'm trying to get to is the
yeah.
fact that the way, right? Because you said colonialism helped shape and form the way the people that experience it identify and see themselves. And that's my
No,
entire
I guess
point.
a clear way to say it is that colonialism creates how we understand identity.
Exact
It shapes
and that
it shapes how we understand identity.
that's my
Yeah.
point. The part of black existentialism where we see ourselves as black across the entire
It's through the
diaspora
lens of white people.
Hold on, Q. Hold
no,
on, Q. Let him say it so I
I'm
can
not even
respond. Let
throwing
him
white.
say
Wait,
it so I can
hold on. I want to
respond.
make this clear.
Yeah.
I'm trying very hard not to even use the word white because I believe them seeing themselves as white, despite being from different lineages in Europe, is a effect of colonialism as well. But
but
that's a
Q,
different rabbit hole.
So to be
I'm
clear,
but Q,
are
let
you?
me. But
Let me
Q,
ask
let
you
me
this, and
ask you this,
you can
Q.
say whether or not I'm right or wrong about this. Are
yeah,
you saying that? Are you saying that at the end of the day, black existentialism is dependent upon a racial categories that were created by the colonizer? Like it depends on. Okay,
Yes,
But
right.
yes.
And the
but
reason, and you're right.
truest.
Hold on. Let me respond to what he's saying. You're right. You're right. Right in the sense
No,
that that
Domo,
is
he's
the
not right.
reality.
Domo, he's
Hold on.
not
No.
right.
Hold on. Let me make a point. He's right in the sense that yes, that's the reality, but not because we are opting in. Black existentialism is a rejection of that. It's recognizing that there is a blackness that is created through the lens of the colonizer. There is a blackness that is created through the lens of white people, and then there's a blackness that I know. There's the blackness that I experience. Black existentialism is saying that we are rejecting the lens of the colonizer. We are rejecting the racial lens that was projected on us. And even though we may use the racial language of blackness, it is our humanity that has redefined how we understand blackness that makes us black existentialists.
But
We are a,
Domo,
like our
but
blackness is a
Domo,
rejection of the racially codified blackness that we get out of
but
colonization.
But that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm
but let
trying
me.
to figure out in
I could jump
terms
in there
of
for a second,
what
Truist.
where is the line that's drawn between the colonial lens of what blackness is, and let's go with during. Hold on. I'm saying no, because what I'm hearing, what I'm hearing you guys say is black existentialism has created a new lens to see blackness through, and I'm trying to see where the
Truist,
divergence
that's not
between.
Truist. That's not what. But Tru-
No,
but
that's literally what y'all just
but
said.
no, Truist. That's not what they're saying.
In terms of how they criminalize us, they yeah. In terms was when a police officer says in certain aspects, yes. Those lines we're talking about are based off of behaviors and stereotypes. I'm speaking in regard I'm
But
speaking
Truist.
in regards to phenotypical when we say black,
No, bro.
we are
It's
typically
based
referring
off
to
of fucking racism.
phenotypical attributes
No,
that certain.
okay, so we
Truist, are
talking
you
philosophy,
serious?
right? We talking
Truist, are you
philosophy, right?
serious?
This is wait right now. What you're describing is the difference between an ontic and ontological conversation, right? The problem that you're having is that you're assuming that when we talk black, when you mention things like phenotype and shit like that, you're reducing blackness to its ontic level, to its material level, what you look like. However, as a black person, you experience blackness beyond your phenotype, beyond that. So when we say what we understand as black compared to that ontic understanding of black, that is the
So
you know what the best way to say it, when you ask where that line is drawn, experience. That's where the line is drawn.
so
Experience.
But Domo. What white people, but Domo, the whole that experience we feel as black people because of all the things you guys are mentioning, right? That is 100% fact. But white people treat every black person that way based off of the phenotypical things they're seeing. So
Right. So in
no,
irregardless,
that's not
philosophy,
true. That's
so
not
in
true, Truist.
philosophy, Charles Mills,
That's
and this
not
is why
true.
Charles Mills argues that
This
the
is
that the
crazy.
ontology of whiteness, or the way in which whiteness understands blackness, is only through that ontic level.
right.
To whiteness, blackness does not get to the ability to
But that's not.
transcend
But that's
and
not.
be greater
But
than that.
but
So what you're describing is the problem
but
that black
Domo. But
existentialism.
do.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead. Because you've been
But
trying to talk.
Domo.
My apologies. Go ahead.
But Domo. That's not true.
Go
It
ahead.
doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what we look like. They just. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we hear you, brother.
It's just no. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what you look like per se. That's not necessarily true. What it is that anyone who is not like them, they have a problem, because they call anyone in ancient times, Greek and Romans, called anyone who didn't look like them a barbarian, and everybody who they saw wasn't necessarily black. They just didn't like anyone who was not like them. That's a fact. They were just very what we would call Eurocentric. They just didn't like anybody who didn't look like them. Everybody was a barbarian who wasn't a Greek and a Roman. They were savages and they had nothing to offer. So they was colonizing people from back then. And you have to understand the origin of the term black is not didn't
No,
have
you
a
don't
race
need the
behind it.
origin of the term. You don't need the
You
origin.
do.
No,
Hey,
you
hey,
don't.
brother,
You
it
do
wasn't
because
a
you can
it wasn't a
separate-
Eurocentric
No,
thing
you
with
don't
them.
need the
You can
origin.
separate black from race.
No,
is what
I
I'm
don't. I
telling
don't
you.
need the origin of a term. I don't need the
You can
origin.
separate black from race.
But no, I
And that's
don't
what I'm
need an
trying to say.
origin. See, this is where you're going off. I don't need an origin of term. I don't need the origin of a term for me to actually use the term on how I'm using it today.
Yeah, that's
Especially,
etymological.
Right.
yeah,
You
that's
don't need to
that's
have
an
an
But what I
etymological
want to-
fallacy.
hold on.
That's an
that.
But what I
etymological
want to
fallacy. I don't
say-
need
no,
the.
But Qube, what I'm trying to say is, when you look at the term black existed before race.
But I don't care
It was
about
just a
that.
physical
White people didn't give a
description.
fuck about that, bruh. What are you talking
But
about?
they didn't. But the term black did not start with white people.
But so what
But
though?
brother, wait, hold on, Qube.
And it wasn't
brother
just
in the manner in which we're discussing the term in this conversation. The origins of that come from colonialism.
Right.
So we're trying
Right.
to stick.
I
We're
understand
trying
what
to
you're
stick
saying,
to that.
but what I'm saying is, you have to separate black from race because it exists.
No, the
No,
fuck
we
you
don't.
don't.
No, we
No,
don't.
you
Black
don't.
is not.
This
black
whole
is not
conversation
necessar-
falls apart if we do that.
Bro,
Why?
listen.
Why
Watch
though?
this.
Because the whole philosophy
watch
of black
this.
existentialism is discussing race.
Hold on,
It's
watch this.
discussing race
Watch this.
politics.
Right, but
Watch
what
this.
I'm
Watch this.
saying
Watch
is-
this. Watch this. If you go right now to Palestine, are these motherfuckers trying to distinguish between the Palestinians and what the land of Palestine is? They don't give a fuck. They dropping bombs on everything. So that doesn't matter, bro. See, you
No,
niggas get too caught up in playing these
but
fucking
I'm
word
gonna-
games
No, but
instead
it's
of
not a
living in
word
the
game,
fucking
Qube.
21st century.
But it's not a word game, Qube.
It
You
is
have
a
to
word game, bro.
No,
Because you
but
said, well,
can I explain why I'm saying it though? Let me explain
go
my point.
ahead,
Then you can
dog.
curse me after I finish. What I'm
Go
saying
ahead.
is, when you go back to the origin of the term black did not just apply to skin
So
color.
what?
It dealt with. It was deeper than that.
So
people are getting
what?
too confused and saying every time you say black, it has to be this racial nonsense, and that's not true.
But so
Race-
what though?
Race
Listen,
is
Okay,
different
so-
from being black.
listen.
Race has nothing- race is
When
different from
they
being
was
black.
when they was whipping niggas and scarring niggas back, when they talking about, well, hey, you can't use the word black because it actually goes back to they wasn't giving a fuck about none of that shit, bro. You sound crazy. Stop doing that shit.
Why am I sounding crazy, Qube?
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to say that people was actually thinking about this or that when they was doing things, and none of that matters.
What I'm saying to you is you can separate black
You
from
can't.
race.
No,
They're two
bro.
different
No.
things.
Bro, it's
Black is not
pointless.
just a
In the
race.
21st century, it's pointless. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right
I
now.
don't think so.
I'm
I
gonna
disagree with
I'm gonna
you.
tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Black people here in America, we thought that we was just black people. But as the world began to open up with social media and everything like that, everybody, every nigga was black, bro. We're all black, bro. If you hail from the continent of Africa or whatever, nigga, you black.
I don't have a problem.
That's just what
with
it
that,
is.
Qube. That's not what
You
I'm
trying to
saying.
make it seem like, well, what's the etymology of that and this and that? No.
So what's wrong with that? But what's wrong with that?
Because it's stupid and it doesn't acknowledge what we deal with today. It doesn't acknowledge it.
So
Brother,
why?
hey, brother, do
why
you
doesn't-
agree? Do you agree that
hold on,
word?
Go ahead, True. Sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead. Something happened just now? You want to tell me?
Yeah, whatever. But what I'm saying
ahead.
is, bro, we have to get away from that because, you know, you have Caribbean.
Words evolve. They evolve. Words evolve.
They just
Language
do.
evolves.
I don't-
Like words don't stay stuck in a specific time period, and we're not forced to hold ourselves to the definitions of terms as they were thousands of years ago.
Right.
We don't
and I
have any
have
obligation. We
and
don't have
I-
any obligation to do that.
And I agree with what you're saying. And I don't have a problem with what you're saying. But what I'm saying is We also, if we're talking about it, we have to be thorough and understand the
No,
origin of
we
the term.
don't. We don't
Instead of
have to
just
go
saying
And
to.
we
brother,
also
We don't have to go to
have
the
to use
original
context.
meaning.
you can't do that.
We
You
have
can't
to
do that.
also use context and look at the context of how the word we're discussing is being used in the framework we're
But
talking
it was,
about.
but truest, it was used the same way
Bro, we don't give a fuck,
thousands
bro.
of years
Listen, let me
ago.
say
It
this,
was,
bro. Let me
but
say
it was the
this.
same thing.
No, bro,
There's
we
no
don't care.
difference.
No, we don't
It
care.
was the same thing.
No, we don't
They didn't
care,
like
bro.
black
We
people
don't
then
care.
either.
It was
Bro,
not
listen.
the
They
same
didn't, but
Let
they
me,
didn't
bro.
like black
Let me
people then
say
either.
this. Let me say
So that
this, bro.
doesn't change. It
Let me
doesn't
say
change
this,
the
bro.
context.
Let me say this.
But it doesn't change the context.
Let me say this. Context is king, bro. I don't give a fuck what no.
But it was the same
No,
context
bro.
back then too.
No,
Q.
but it wasn't though.
Wait,
That's
wait, wait, wait,
Yes,
wait,
it
wait, wait, wait,
was.
wait, wait. Hold
no,
on,
it
Q. Wait, so
wasn't.
brother, so wait,
It
are
was
you
the
saying,
same context.
brother, hold on, brother, are you saying that the British, when they're in the 13 colonies using the term black, they're using it in the same context that the Greeks were using it when they called the East Africans Ethiops,
Now let me
or
explain. Now, okay.
like,
Now,
are
let me
you
explain. Let
saying
me explain what I
this
mean.
is the same
Let me
context
explain. Now,
that the
let me
people in
explain what I
Kemet
mean.
were using when they said
No, but hold on. Can I
black,
explain my point though?
when they said
Can I
black
explain my?
soil, as when the
Can I answer you though? Can I answer?
Portuguese are calling people in West Africa black. It's the same context.
Now
Thousands of years apart, it's the
can I
same
answer the?
context.
Let me answer you. What I'm saying is, back then the Greeks didn't see anything good about black either. They did everything. No, I'm telling you, the Greeks didn't say anything good about black then either. They had nothing good to say about black people then either. So it was raised on that. It was always the same context. They didn't like anybody who wasn't Greek. But am I wrong though? Am I wrong though, Q? What? So you're telling me? So you're telling me the ancient Greeks didn't have weren't racist? If you want to use that term, they didn't dislike black people. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense, Q. You're crazy. That's not. Uh, so, but I'm making the point. It was the same context though. Why is my? So why is there not a point? Why do I sound crazy?
What is your goal? Is your goal to prove that the Greeks were racist? Is that your goal?
No, you said something just now, and you said the context was different. And I'm
Yeah, it
saying to
was.
you, and I'm saying to you, whether the race existed or not, they've been saying that black people were no good and negative things about black people for thousands of years. So it's the context was never different.
They
The
weren't just
context was never
saying,
different.
they were saying anybody that wasn't practicing what they deemed to be higher
Right.
culture was no good.
I,
So
yes,
they
I
said the
agree
same
with
thing. They
you.
said the same
I
thing.
agree
They
with
said,
you.
hold on, brother. They said the same thing about the Visigoths. They said the
I
same
agree.
thing about the Celts. They said the
I
same
agree.
thing about the Saxons and the Anglos and
I
the
agree.
Vikings and every other paganistic European tribe. Like, you said the word Eurocentric. You know, they was banging on all those tribalistic
I agree with
spiritual.
you.
So
I
no, brother, it's
agree.
not just the black people. All those people to their north were white and paler than them.
But I
But in
didn't
their
say.
eyes, they
I
were
never
just as
said.
savage as the North African
But I
Berber.
said that.
So
But
like
Truist, I
you're
just said
trying to
that.
make it this
Truist,
racial
I
thing.
just said that. I just said
No, you're
anyone.
trying to make it like they just
But
hated black people only.
you went listen to me earlier. I said Greeks and Romans didn't like anybody who wasn't a Greek or Roman. I said that
Yeah,
earlier.
but then you centralized it with them just not liking black people.
No, I didn't say they didn't. I didn't say that. You mentioned context, and I said the context was the same. They wrote in
All
primary
right, brother.
documents that they didn't like black people. I didn't say
Can we?
just
All right,
black
let's
people.
bring it home. Let's get
You
back
never heard me
to
say that.
let's
I
get
never
back
said
let's
that.
get back to what Domo, Qube, and I were discussing. Did you have anything to say on that?
Well, you know what? Let me be honest. I guess I don't. I guess I don't have anything to contribute to that particular conversation. I guess I don't. No, you actually. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I guess I don't. If you want me to be honest. I'll be honest.
Who disagreed? Do you disagree with what my man Domo came in here and said? Because he was kicking facts. I want to get back to that shit.
No,
Yeah, no, I
I'm
was
disputing
enjoying
what
that part
anybody's
of the
saying. I'm just going
conversation.
to external point.
Please remind me the last bit we left off at.
Yeah, you was trying to make it seem like the only reason niggas was doing this is because of their proximity to white people and all of this shit, that we couldn't create our own shit.
Oh yeah.
This is the same hole that JJ fell down. Because JJ was trying to make it seem like existentialism is white people shit. Nigga, no.
No. I'm not talking about existentialism. I'm not talking about that bit, because that's just a philosophical framework. I'm talking about the black identity part. That's what I'm talking about.
But what's your issue with that though? I don't get it.
Adobo agreed in terms of colonialism, global colonialism, being the starting point from where both black and white identity comes from. And eventually, yes, black existentialists centuries later formulate their own frame. They evolve that black identity into something new.
Yeah, you making shit up, bro. You making shit up.
Okay. Well, what did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
I'm gonna tell you what I said, bro. When it comes to black existentialists, bro, niggas, we was trying to do our own shit and separate ourselves from the powers that fucking be. That's what the fuck we was doing. We was trying.
Where does black identity come from?
It comes from us being enslaved for 285 fucking years.
That's my point.
Hold on, let me finish. And us wanting to separate from that. Like, that's where it comes from, bro. Like how is that hard to figure out?
Right. But the black identity in of itself comes from a term that was implanted on us as a people, and then we take it as our own later on, and now we are trying to branch it out to have other meanings further than what it initially was, as you two said.
How?
But you said how? You guys were the ones that
make sense.
You guys were the ones arguing that blackness today includes the humanity that we carry, whereas at one point in time it didn't have that aspect of humanity to it. You were just property. Right?
What you mean you? You mean us, we. Bro, listen.
Yes, us.
What I'm trying to tell you is what black people were doing. They were trying to escape the shit that white people put on them, bro. They were trying to escape that. And what you're saying is, oh, that came from white people. Yes, you're right. It did come from white people. But what we did was we tried to escape that and we created our own shit. But for some reason, black people don't feel like black people feel like black people can't create their own shit without white people.
No, what I'm trying to suggest is, why isn't that a black existentialist? Why wouldn't you just come up with a new identifier completely that's not tied to anything historically from colonialism?
Okay, so show me what. So show me. Okay, you make a good point. Show me where black existentialism is connected to anything white. Go.
Identifying as black in of itself is connected to colonialism.
So hold on. Identify yourself as something different than what other motherfuckers called you is what again?
Okay, Q. The point is, prior to colonialism, us as a people never called ourselves black. So I'm saying us identifying as black, its root is via colonialism.
Okay.
So my suggestion is, if black existentialism's point is to diverge from colonialism,
I get it.
The best pathway to do that would be to create a new terminology that has no root
I get it.
to colonialism, the very thing you're trying to separate from.
I get it. So what you're basically saying is, instead of creating our own thing that had nothing to do with everybody else, that was black existentialism, we should have called it purple existentialism. Because it had nothing to fuck. Because see, black is still caught up in what white people called us. So you want us to totally get away from whatever white people called us. So are you saying that you would be more happy if we called it purple existentialism?
No, I'm gonna a good example at an attempt at what I'm saying would be African American. That term was an attempt at what I'm suggesting. You see what I'm saying?
Didn't we do that?
Yeah, that's a good example of what I'm saying.
So once again, let me ask you this: can you show me the resemblance between existentialism, white existentialism and black existentialism? What are the comparisons there?
Okay, so a white existentialist, and we're specifically talking about a white existentialist, not an existentialist, but a white existentialist.
Now hold on, real quick. Before you do this, you do understand that white existentialism doesn't exist, and you're just making this up, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you're just making up white existentialism, right?
Yeah. So, for example, a white nationalist by default, by default would be a white existentialist.
No, you're making that up. Can you show me anywhere in history where anybody wrote about white existentialism or any books on white existentialism? Can you show me that?
So, no, but just because there's no written literature about it, that doesn't mean that.
So hold on, are you telling me that you're gonna automatically assume that existentialism is white?
No, that's why I said white existentialism.
Hold on,
if I thought that, I would just say existentialism.
Okay, but you just assumed that existentialism was white.
No, that's why I added white to it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so since you added it to it, can you show me white existentialism? Show me the books. Show me the professor.
I'm saying every white nationalist is by default a white existentialist.
No,
because
that's not
they
how it
want to die.
Oh, it doesn't work that way. Can you show me white existentialists?
Yeah.
Okay,
KKK.
So now can you tell me what black existentialism is, and then I want you to show me what white existentialism is, and I want you to show me the converse of the two. Go.
Great example of white existentialists would be the Ku Klux Klan, white nationalists.
No. I want you to give me a definition of white existentialism, and I want you to give me a definition of black existentialism. Just show it to me real quick. I'm waiting.
Show it to you, or I can explain.
No, I said definition. I thought I was clear. Give me the definitions.
Okay, I'm on my phone, so unfortunately I cannot screen share or close out the browser.
I didn't ask for a screen share. The only thing I asked for was for you to give me the definition of black existentialism, and then give me the definition of white existentialism. I'm gonna get later, after you give me that, we're gonna get to the proponents of black existentialism, and then I'm gonna ask you for the proponents of white existentialism. But first, give me the definition of white existentialism, and then give me the definition of black existentialism.
All right, hold on. Let me walk into the crib.
Yeah.
And let me get on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna speak quiet because I don't want to wake wifey up. But let me get on my laptop.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Listen, fam, he won't be able to do it. Because you want to know why he won't be able to do it? It's because there's no fucking such thing as white existentialism. It doesn't exist. Black people created black existentialism without white people. This is something we created. And we didn't need fucking white people to do it. So what he's doing is he's saying, "Oh hell no, you niggas ain't getting off of that plantation. You needed white people to create black existentialism. Why? Because that was always white existentialism. He won't be able to show it
No,
because
I
it
never
doesn't
said. I
exist.
never said there was always white existence.
Because when soon as he tells me the definition of white existentialism, I'm gonna ask him, well, who are the proponents? Who are the people that wrote books about white existentialism? He won't be able to do that, but I will be able to tell you the people that wrote books about black existentialism. Let's go. This is very simple, bro. I don't even know why you're going against this. There's no such thing as white existentialism, bro. It doesn't fucking exist. It doesn't exist. You can try to force and attribute shit to white people, but you can never say that there was a such thing as white existentialism. You can only find black existentialism, and then you will find existentialism. That's it. It doesn't exist, bro. Nice try.
Yeah, no, I already said nobody has defined something as white existentialism.
It doesn't exist.
But
You agree it doesn't exist, right? It doesn't exist.
It hasn't been defined. No, but I think.
Okay, hold on. So if it hasn't been defined, where did it exist?
I think we see white nationalists.
Oh, so you're making up. Oh, so when it comes to white existentialism, you're just pushing and impressing upon white nationalists. You're impressing upon white nationalists as white existentialists. Isn't that fucking weird? Why would you impress that upon that? Why can't you show me white existentialists and you can show me white people who wrote books about white existentialism? Wouldn't it just be easy to show me these white people who were talking about white existentialism, who was pushing white existentialism? Wouldn't that just make more sense? The answer is, bro, white existentialism doesn't exist. Black existentialism didn't exist, and this is something that we created minus fucking white people. We created this shit, bro. That's all it is, bro. It's some FUBU shit. We just did some shit, bro. That's all it is. It's no biggie. This is something we did. And you have to accept that, bro. Black people created something. I know it may be difficult to hear that black people created something all by
That's not the part I'm contending, brother.
So which part are you contending with?
I'm contending where does black identity come from? And I'm saying black identity comes from the same place white identity comes from, which is colonialism.
Oh, from white people. From white people.
Colonialists, that's the term I'm using.
Because
black existentialism isn't only against white people, it's against colonialism, period. So, for example, it's against Arab colonialism. You know, it's not, black existentialism is not just focused on white people colonizing us. It's against all forms of colonialism, period.
No, that's wrong, brother. That's wrong.
Okay. So show me the definition of black existentialism and show me where it mentions white. Because it's about
liberation. It doesn't mention white because it's something that black people here in America created. So
yeah, but it's about diverting from what? White people or colonialism?
Right.
Period.
It's from the diversion of white people looking at us from their lens, their gaze, their view. We created our own shit. That's all it is. It had nothing to do
anti-colonialism, period.
No, bro. No. It has nothing to do with anti-colonialism for the simple fact that it was post-slavery. No, it has nothing to do with colonialism. Like, I don't even know why you keep saying that. Colonialism was not in the mind of fucking black people when they came up with black existentialism. It wasn't in our mind.
Is slavery not a direct byproduct of colonialism?
Bro, yes, but that's not the point. I don't give a fuck if this is a byproduct. Nigga, diabetes is a byproduct of sugar, but we ain't talking about sugar.
So to prevent slavery from continuing to ever happen again, wouldn't you have to have an anti-colonialist mindset?
Can you have slavery without colonialism? Game over. Game the fuck over. You can have
In the manner
no,
unto
no,
which
no, no,
our
no.
experience
No, no, no,
happened.
no, no. So no. We don't have to do that. The question was very simple and straight to the point. Can you have slavery without colonialism? The answer is yes. So if you can answer that honestly, we're not worried about colonialism. I don't give a fuck about colonialism when I'm talking about black existentialism. Is because you can have slavery without having colonialism. You can just one group can just go and take over another group and put them in slavery. It doesn't have to be fucking colonialism. They can have these people stay where the fuck they are. They don't have to selfishly take over these people, move in their people on their land and kill everybody. No. You can have slavery without colonialism, right?
Yeah, you can have it without
Thank you.
colonialism.
And that's my point, bro. So when you look at black existentialism, it's something that was created all by its lonely, on its own, without fucking white people. So if you can understand that you can have slavery without colonialism, then you have to fucking understand that you can have black existentialism without white people in the middle of their shit, in the middle of our shit. That's the point I'm making, bro. Clear. That's clear. It's very easy. It's very easy, bro. Black existentialism is something that black people created. It just so happened that we created it in the midst of us being conquered. Yes, we created it in the midst of us being conquered. But it doesn't mean none of this other shit that you're talking about, right? That's just not what it means. And this is what JJ 7000 failed at because he didn't understand it. That's all. No biggie.
Okay, so so black existentialism. I have the textbook definition right here. I'm gonna read it off because it's not in the dictionary, but I'll read it off Wikipedia. I want to use AI. All right, so black existentialism or Africana critical theory is a school of thought that critiques domination and affirms the empowerment of black people in the world.
Freeze.
Although it
Freeze.
shares, so right there,
Freeze.
black
Freeze.
people in the world. That's
Do
not limited.
hold on,
That's
freeze. Hold on, freeze
Yeah,
right there.
Go ahead.
Do we need white people to do that?
To understand ourselves as
Hold
black.
Hold on.
To understand ourselves as black, if it was not for colonialism, we would not see ourselves as black globally.
Bro, black existentialism is the rejection of what the fuck, how white people look at us. Do you at least agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so do we need fucking white people to teach us or tell us how to fucking reject them?
No.
Thank you.
No.
So that right there should tell you what I'm telling you, bro.
Okay, put it this way, Qube. Can you be a Christian and a black existentialist?
Yes, the fuck you can. I said that earlier. You can be.
How?
And you hold on, listen, and I also said this. You can be a Christian, you can be a Pan-Africanist, and you can also be a black existentialist. You can be
Pan-Africanist is different. That's different.
No. What I'm telling you is I said that you could be all three. You could be a Christian, you can be a black existentialist. You can be that.
How though?
Okay,
How?
so read again. What is black existentialism? Read it one more time.
Okay. First sentence. Black existentialism or Africana critical theory is a school of thought that critiques domination and affirms the empowerment of Black people in the world.
Okay, freeze right there. What in Christianity stops you from having that thought? What in Christianity stops that?
It is so when it says critiques
No,
domination.
no.
I'm telling you how it's
What? No. What in Christianity stops that?
I'm explaining. Christianity is what dominated the Black world.
That's not what I'm asking, bro.
I'm telling you how it is antithetical to it.
No, bro. I'm asking you a very specific question. What is okay? You know what? Now we have to go back to basics. What is Christianity, bro?
Christianity is being a follower of Christ, a believer in Christ.
It's not only that. Continue. What also is Christianity?
Yeah, the belief that Christ is Messiah, died for your sins,
Okay.
Came to save the world.
Okay, and you're gonna go to heaven one day when you die, right?
Yeah, you'll be saved through Christ. Yeah.
Okay, so what that you just read stops me from going to fucking heaven when I die? What about that stops me from going to heaven? What about that stops me from believing that this one person that came died for my sins? What? Which part stops me from going to heaven? Which part?
Yeah, you frame it that way. You're right.
Okay, so hold on. So you agree that at this point, from what you're looking at it as, I can be a Christian and I also can be a Black existentialist, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's move further. Now let's talk about Pan-Africanism. Okay, did you want to look up what Pan-African?
No, Pan-Africanism, I agree.
Okay. Okay, so you agree with what so now you're agreeing with what I said in totality, because
yes, I agree.
Right, because I said you could be a Christian, you could be a Pan-Africanist, and you can also believe in Black existentialism. That's all I was saying, bro. But when you break it down to the earliest compound, you see that you can do all of these things, and it's not a problem. That's all I was saying, bro. I wasn't trying to get a gotcha moment. I was just trying to get you to see what I was seeing. You follow me?
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on you, bro. You know you my man. But I was just trying to get you to see that, bro. That's all I wanted you to see. So with that being said, that's where I was coming from, bro. So do you agree with that, where I'm coming from at this point?
In terms of that point specifically, yes. In terms of you could be on
okay, good. Okay, now good. Now stay right there. We agree that you could be three at one time. You could be a Christian, a nationalist, and a Pan-Africanist, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Black existentialist, Pan-African, and Christian. Yes.
Okay, now stay right there. Now, this is the last part that you got to get, because this was my main contention. Now, what is Black existentialism, and when was it created?
Let me read further, because that was only the first sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Although it shares a word with existentialism.
Thank you. That's my point.
and that philosophy.
Thank you, bro.
And that philosophy's concerns with existence and meaning in life.
Thank you.
Black existentialism is predicated on the liberation of all Black people in the world.
Thank you, bro.
From oppression.
Thank you so much, bro. Hold on. Let me tell you. Thank you so much for understanding, bro. Thank you so much.
Hear me out. This is what I was trying to say earlier. What I'm saying, when we're highlighting our unique experience here in the U.S., a Black existentialist is concerned with not just our experience, but the experience of Black people globally.
Hold on. You just told me that I can be a Pan-Africanist and also a black existentialist. You just told me that.
Pan-Africans are global thinkers as well.
Okay, but so where are we going wrong? Because you just told me that I can be a Pan-Africanist and also a black existentialist. So are you disagreeing with that?
No, both are global. Both are global.
Okay,
Of course you can.
so where are we disagreeing at now?
No, where we're disagreeing at now is the fact that when we're talking about liberation for black people globally, we have to start to
Can you read that one
figure
more
out.
time?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna read it one more time.
Uh-oh.
It said, although it shares a word with existentialism and that philosophy is concerned with existence and meaning in life, black existentialism is predicated on the liberation of all black people
Okay,
in the world.
freeze right there.
Yeah.
Does this say all black people around the world?
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm a black existentialist here in America, does that mean that I give a fuck about the people in Ghana?
You have to.
Thank you. So
you have to.
So does that mean I give a fuck about black people in Mali?
Yes, but
Thank you.
That's my point.
Okay, so where are we disagreeing? So where are we disagreeing at? Where are we disagreeing at?
Here's where we're not agreeing at.
Okay.
I'm saying when that is the objective, now what we have to do at this point is look at the term black, and we have to then decide who around the world we put and classify as black. Now we have to decide. Yes, now we have to decide if people like Aboriginal Australians are black. Now we have to decide if we're going to consider.
Let's go back to what you read. Can you read that one more? Can you read that one more time for me, bro?
Of course.
This is my last time. Read it one more time, please, bro.
Although it shares a word with existentialism, and that philosophy is concerned with existence and meaning in life, black existentialism is predicated on the liberation of all black people in the world.
Pause right
there.
Wait,
hold on. Let me finish that sentence. No. All black people in the world.
Oh, hold on. Pause right there.
Oppression.
Pause right there. You said all black people around the world. So, Are you telling me that you have a difference in opinion of people that are black around the world than I do?
I'm saying.
Hold on, answer that. Hold on, wait. Answer that question. Do you have?
I'm saying.
Hold on.
Because I know you. Wait, hold on,
because
I know you.
You gotta answer this, bro.
Yeah, I'm answering it right now.
Do you have a difference of opinion to me on who's black and who's not around the world? Do you have a difference of opinion?
Because I know you. No, but all black people don't have an agreement on who's black around the world. We literally sit on YouTube arguing about that shit all day.
No, bro. No, we don't. There's coons. Bro, listen. There's coons. There's nothing ass niggas. There's Tariq Nasheed type niggas. They're the ones that do that. But what you have to understand is that this ideology, this thought has been around 100 years before a piece of shit like Tariq Nasheed existed. So when you say that, well, we sit on YouTube and talk about it. No, the fuck we don't. We never sat around and talked about who was black and who wasn't until Tariq Nasheed came and said, well, this person is a tether. This person is this. This person is that. We never had an argument about who was black and who wasn't, right or wrong.
Well, when I look at the rest
Come on, bro. Hold on. Let me ask you again. Nobody ever asked who was black and who wasn't until Tariq Nasheed came along. When the fuck do you ever remember people saying, well, this person ain't black, that person ain't black? When do you ever remember in history somebody saying that this person ain't black, that person ain't black until Tariq Nasheed came along? Whoever did that? Who did? Whoever did it?
Qube, I can read right here in the same article this very thing we're talking. Listen
I'm
to this.
asking you a
Listen,
question.
I'm gonna read it to you right now.
No, I don't want you to read it. I'm asking you a question. You, specifically you. Before Tariq Nasheed came along and started calling people tethers and this and that, who did you look at around the world and you didn't consider them black? Name them.
Okay. Personally, I never, and I still don't consider the people of Sri Lanka, for example, black.
Okay, cool.
But there are many people that would consider Sri Lankans black.
Okay, cool. Let's start there. See, this is a starting point. But you would accept the diaspora, right?
Yeah. When we talk about diaspora, you talk about West African diaspora.
But hold on. See, I knew you was gonna go there. That's why I said
Yeah.
Because see, this should be our disagreement. Our disagreement should be, well, who the fuck is the diaspora? Our disagreement shouldn't be, oh, this person's a tether, this person is that. Our disagreement should be, well, who the fuck is the diaspora? That's the actual conversation we should be having. The question in the conversation should be, well, who are the people that actually descend from Africa?
From West Africa.
Well, no, Africa.
Nah, because I don't think all Africans are black. I don't think certain North Africans are black.
You know what? I agree with you because there are North Africans that aren't black. They're like not
Berbers and
right. I agree with you on that. I take that back. But the greater point that I'm trying to make is like sub-Saharan. If we talk about sub-Saharan,
Niger, Congo,
those are black people. Yeah, and you know what? That's who I'm talking about, and I think that's who you're also talking about.
Yes, that's exactly
right.
who I'm talking about.
To be fair, I'm talking about sub-Saharan Africans. Those are black Africans.
Yes.
But I would not be opposed if all Africa came together to do trade with each other, to come together. I wouldn't be like if they had the United Africa States of Africa. I would love
the African Union.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that because it only makes
fucking
already
sense. Is an AU, but most of the AU is Arabized.
Yeah, it's retarded, right?
Yeah. But think about just for the continent to unify, it would require unifying with those Berber people.
Right. You're right about that. And you know what it would also require? It would require some of those Berber people to stop being so fucking racist too. So I'm not listen, I'm not an idiot to where I'm just gonna be like, oh man, all Africans are just Africans and no. Those Northeast Africans, them niggas, they want to be white so bad and all of that shit. Yeah. We get it. Of course we get it.
Or Arab.
Yeah,
like those in Morocco and Algeria, and Libya.
Yeah, because even when it comes to sub-Saharan Africans, like some of them motherfuckers are so Arabized to where they don't want to put down their flag and come with other Africans. I get that. You know, I'm not ridiculous with it. I get it. Because if you look at sub-Saharan African people, they should all come together and be just one African people. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I'm not finna sit here and lie to you and be like, oh man, these people, you know, they just, you know, no, some of them are just so, you know, Arabized to where they just want to do their thing in a different culture, in a different way, and they look at the countries on the left and the right of them, and they're like, oh man, these niggas are backwards as hell. Just because, like, perfect example, right? Just real quick. I was watching a YouTube short of some niggas in where these niggas was at? They was in India, right? And these niggas is wearing dresses and shit, right? And these niggas is working on a goddamn a construction site. They working on a construction site with all of this heavy equipment. I'm looking at this shit. You know the first thing that came to my mind? I said, bro, why is these niggas walking around in these motherfucking dresses instead of just putting some motherfucking jeans on to just do the job and get it done? But instead, these motherfuckers is walking around with dresses on that they can get their shit snagged because it's real. That shows you that these motherfuckers have more of a placation to their religion to where they have to wear this dress versus getting shit actually done. Nigga, put on some fucking jeans and just get done what you need to get done. But these niggas want to wear these dresses and your shit may get snagged and nigga, you may get caught up in some fucking beam or get tossed the fuck up. Like that's just dumb. You don't have to like white men or whatever the fuck, but nigga, get you some goddamn jeans and just go to work. These niggas is sawing. They got the whole shit out and they wearing dresses. It's like, bruh, no, fuck that shit, bruh. So like there's a huge part of these motherfuckers that are just stupefied. They love their religion so much they won't take off the dress and just put on some fucking jeans, go to work, make their country better. These niggas is wearing jeans on some stupid shit. I was looking at this shit like you niggas are dumb. Like what the fuck are y'all doing? But nah, that's all I'm saying, bro. It's like we know what it is for real. We know what these motherfuckers is doing, bro. That's it. That's all I'm saying, bro. Yeah, let me go take a squeeze. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, if you still listening in the back, yeah, no, a lot of times practicality goes out the window when you have a belief system that you put over everything else, Uh they could very easily, like, even if it was a situation where they're not trying to emulate Western culture, they could come up with something else that's just as practical as jeans, but maybe using a different material or using something else. So it doesn't have to be a one-on-one of what Western culture is doing, but something completely unique to them. No, I was saying, like, a lot of times, practicality, it doesn't come into the picture when someone is indoctrinated. Like, they could very easily, in a situation where they don't want to emulate Western culture by making jeans, like you said, they could very easily make something else just as practical using a different material.
Yeah,
Like, they don't have to make exactly jeans.
yeah, but
But
these niggas was wearing dresses.
yeah, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, they can take the same material they made the dresses from and create something else that's more fucking comfortable for the job.
yeah, but a dress ain't comfortable, bro. Yeah, I'm about to play this shit. I'm about to play. Yeah, nah, this probably India, Pakistan, one of these motherfuckers. Here, go to the video because I'm playing it right now. Just so you can see these fucking retarded niggas. So when you see these niggas, look at these niggas. They got their whole dress on. These niggas is looking super crazy. They're gonna get the job done. But look at these niggas. I was looking at this shit. I was like, damn, these niggas know what they doing. But why not just go ahead and just put some fucking jeans on and just, get that shit done. So when you look at these niggas, they doing some other type of shit. Let me fast forward. Look at this shit. Nigga got a whole motherfucking dress on, bro. Why the fuck do you even need this shit on? Put you on a shirt and some motherfucking jeans and just go for whatever the fuck you know, nigga. Go for what you know. These niggas ain't got no steel toe boots on. Shit is already looking crazy as fuck. Like, look at this shit. These niggas is actually working in this shit, bro. This shit just looks stupid to me. Don't get me wrong, they getting the job done. But these niggas, look, these niggas got dresses on. Look, the nigga got a dress on. For what? Why the fuck you got a dress on with your feet all hanging out? Nigga, this shit is like 2-3 tons. This shit can fall on that motherfucking big toe. Like, come on, bro. Get that shit out of here, bro. Just put on some motherfucking jeans. But that's their whole shit. They don't want to let go of their bullshit culture. And these motherfuckers come over here and see, that's another thing too I wanted to talk about because one thing I do, this is the only thing I agree with Donald Trump about. That this motherfucker, well, Donald Trump said, "Hey, we're gonna do $100,000 for every H1V H1B, excuse me, H1B visa that niggas bring over." And then these motherfuckers, Donald Trump changed the shit. It was supposed to be $100,000 annually, and then they changed the shit to where, oh no, it's just $100,000 one time. Like that shit is crazy to me. Like me personally, I don't plan on living in America for that much longer. I probably got about maybe about 8 more 9 months that I'm here, but I'm looking at this shit. These motherfuckers, bro, like what they do, like these companies, they go hire these motherfucking Indian niggas. They pay these motherfuckers 50, $60,000 to do a job that motherfuckers should be doing for 110, 120, $130,000 an hour. But they pay these East Indian motherfuckers. They'll pay them $60,000 a year. So Donald Trump on some shit. Hold on, let me pull it up. So Donald Trump on some shit like, hey, you know what? Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump on some shit like, fuck that. What we gonna do is we finna charge these companies $100,000 just to even bring these motherfuckers over here. But oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on, damn, my bad. I ain't been. Hold on. All right, yeah, I got you. Yeah, cheap labor. Yeah. Mhm. Cut it off for other people. But I'll tell you this though, me personally, it is a good thing though, and I'll tell you why. It's because what America should have been doing, bro. America should have been training people to work these jobs. But what America started doing is, America started to, outsource their labor. You know what I'm saying? And they figured out there was like, shit, it's even cheaper if we could just put these motherfuckers on a $200-300 flight, bring them over here, and we could just pay them $50,000-$60,000 a year versus paying an American person, because an American person, yeah, they'll probably deal with $50,000 for a year or so, but after another 2 years, they gonna want 70. After another year, they want 80. After a year or two, they gonna want 90. So the way how American companies looked at it, they was like, shit, it's cheaper just to get these motherfucking Indians, on this H1B visa shit. And that's what they was doing. Because it is cheaper for them, because they can let people go, they can fire people, but they still gonna keep the fucking East Indians. Why? Because they're cheap labor. They're only paying these motherfuckers 50, $60,000 an hour. Whereas in American, because see, when it comes to a motherfucker on the H1B visa, if these motherfuckers decide to quit and be like, man, this ain't enough money, guess what happened to them? They get sent back. And none of these motherfuckers is trying to get sent back. They will accept $50,000, $60,000 for 50 years, nigga. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They will take it. they will take that shit. They don't give a fuck. But an American, nigga, you is not about to pay me $50,000 for 10 years. I'm not taking it. So like that's really what happened with this shit, man. So but you know, Donald Trump being the dumbass that he is, you know, he's a fucking idiot. But yeah, I think that was the only good thing from this whole organization, not organization, but like that's the only thing I think that he ever did that was positive. Oh yeah, that was the best thing he did. Yeah, yeah, that was the best thing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, because see, people want to play. See, I'm not a left. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, so I don't have to worry about like those stupid ideologies. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. Like, miss me with all of that dumbass shit. I can give a fuck less about a goddamn Democrat or Republican. I know that shit is stupid. I know that is just all the way dumb. You know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers talk about, oh, Democrats, I know, get out of here, man. Democrats, Republicans, if you still thinking about Democrats and Republicans, you just on some other shit, you know. But what I've been seeing a lot is, oh man, you know, it's not the left versus the right. A lot of people been saying that, like it's not the left versus the right. In my opinion, bro, it is the left versus the right, bro. Because like if you look at the shit that the right is willing to listen to, the stupidity. Like if you look at a lot of these farmers and the hell that these motherfuckers are going through, like the average American is going through hell right now because they decided to vote for Donald Trump. So like they're just getting fucking hell right now. And it's crazy. You know, and it's fucked up because we all gotta deal with it. You know, it's a whole fucked up thing, man. Yeah, he's a super pseudo, bro. But see, but see, not even deity, bro. Like we don't even have to go that far. And I'll say this: when I say stop defending Darwin, it's just because so many, you know, atheists or evolutionists niggas want to defend Darwin, bro. Darwin didn't know what the fuck we know. So the only reason that Inky is right about some of the shit he was saying is because he's attacking Darwin. He's not attacking science today. If that nigga was attacking science today, the niggas would spit in his face and tell him you're wrong. Go sit down in the corner. But he's attacking a person from fucking 175 years ago. Right. That's why I said stop defending him because they, they thought he was they acting like he's right. Right. And that's what I was trying to say. Stop trying to finish dude because Darwin wasn't right about evolution. Did he have a lot of things that were correct? Yes. But how the fuck can I say in the same vein that Darwin was right, but we also know 1,000 times more than Darwin ever knew? Like I can't say that at the same time. Darwin did not know nothing that we know now due to the facts of the instruments that we have today. So if he wants to attack Darwin and say Darwin was wrong about this or that, cool. Go ahead and say it. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not finna defend Darwin. But for some reason, these niggas just want to defend that shit. And my whole thing is, bro, stop defending that shit, bro. Stop acting like evolution is wrong because Darwin may have been wrong about this or that, or like this one particular thing that niggas want to point out. Duh. All these niggas had was fucking shit that they can look at. These niggas had no fucking electron microscopes to where they can actually show this shit. These niggas ain't had none of that shit. So why the fuck are we windmilling and fighting for these niggas? For what? That shit is pointless. But Unc and these niggas, they want to fight for these niggas. Oh man, no, bro. If you want to say that they was wrong, cool. Do that shit all by your lonely. But whenever you ready, bring your ass to fucking current day and tell us that evolution is wrong. And then we gonna split your motherfucking headpiece. That's it. And that's the point that I was trying to make. That's all I was trying to say, bro. You can tell me all day. But the science, and this is, listen, bro, the science that we use today, if we're being honest, it debunks Darwin. Right? Like that's the retarded shit that these niggas don't get. Right? And he had no way of knowing that, but he had no fucking way of knowing that. And this is the shit that these niggas try to defend. And that was the whole reason I put it that way. Stop defending this dude. You defending a dude that didn't have a fucking electron microscope. You defending a dude that had no way to figure out how this shit actually happened. The only thing he had is observation. You're defending a dude that only thing he had was observational science. If all we had today was observational science, niggas would be laughing at us. But the way how we're able to cook these niggas is we ain't got observational fucking science, nigga. That's not the only thing we have in our fucking kitty. Nigga, we got so much more than that. And that's why I was trying to say what I was saying and stop defending Darwin. Not because Darwin had no fucking idea what he was talking about. No, not that. It's because y'all trying to defend a dude that's like the first nigga to ever see fucking Mercury. That nigga ain't know Mercury had fucking 7 different fucking moons on the bits. The nigga didn't know. So why the fuck are you defending him? Why are you defending the dude that first saw Mercury and then he said, hey, yeah, this shit don't got no moons? But nigga, Mercury has 7 moons. Why are you defending that shit? We can clearly see Mercury has 7 moons right now. What the fuck are we talking about? It's scientism, bro. It's because of scientism. But watch this though. Here's the thing. And this is what they do, which I'm not mad at. They look at Darwin as the quintessential founder, and they look at other people who built on him, that built on everything to what we have it now. But what they don't want to say is like, yeah, in order for people to build on some shit, That means that some of them niggas had to be wrong in the beginning. They don't want to accept that shit, bro. I'm not into that type of bullshit ass game. Bro, I'm not into that. Niggas can be wrong because had it not been for Darwin being wrong, all of these other niggas discovering alleles and all of that shit, we fucking wouldn't know about it. So I don't understand the big deal. My whole thing is like, bro, like, had it not been for Darwin, yes, we wouldn't know what the fucking allele was. But my nigga, bro, the dude, he was wrong about a few things. Why can't we just accept that to be what the fuck it is and just move on about our lives? But niggas like they're like, no, no, Darwin this and that, and they just want to hold him up as a figure, bro. You don't have to hold him up as a figure, bro. Like that's retarded, bro. Let that motherfucker just be who he was. Let him be who he was, bro. That's cool. Nobody ain't gotta do all of this crazy shit. Darwin did not know fucking everything. They don't want to let that shit go. But that's scientism. Scientism is these motherfuckers believing that, oh man, science is the only fucking way and there's never gonna be another way. That's scientism, bro. Stop that shit. Yeah, but what Inky got wrong is he was trying to say that that wasn't the case, which he lied. That is the case, and that is what Darwin was saying is that you pass these traits on. But what Darwin didn't know is that you had mutate. Darwin didn't know about mutations. So the way how Darwin packaged it and said, "Hey, these things, they move on from mother to child." But Darwin didn't know about mutations. He had no fucking idea about mutations happening. We today understand that mutations happen, and 99.99% of mutations that happen, these things are not good for you. So when you look at the mutation of the SLC4A5 gene of when you see black skin go to white skin, that wasn't a good fucking mutation, but half the fucking earth has it. But it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Darwin was right on so many things, but he was wrong on a lot of fucking things too, and they just don't want to accept it because they're trying to push evolution, but you don't have to push evolution in the name of fucking Darwin. You just don't got to do that. I was one of them yuppies that was just eating all of that shit up until I was just like, no, bro, I don't have to be like that, bro. He jumped out the window. Yeah, he jumped out the window. Yeah, listen, I agree with you. Just like last year when he was talking about politics and trying to get niggas to vote for Kamala Harris, I was on his ass about that shit. I'm like, nigga, why the fuck should we vote for Kamala Harris when she ain't nothing but center fucking right fucking Democrat? Like, what the fuck is she gonna do different? She already told us that she ain't finna do shit different than fucking Joe Biden. So why vote for her? So like the brother doesn't like to stay in his lane. If we're being honest, Jabari doesn't like to stay in his lane. He tries to take his intelligence and impress it upon other shit, but it's like niggas could catch you out there when you playing around like that. Your best bet is just to stay in your lane and let the niggas that rock with you because I was on some shit like, bro, I debate you, bro, because I voted for Dr. Jill Stein. Like, how the fuck is if Dr. Jill Stein was talking about reparations for black people, all of this other shit? How the fuck is you? Thank you. Say it again. First, first time in history. First time in history that they ever made a campaign against a third party. Uh, First time in history. She's a Russian asset. Right. That's it. They agree with all of them. They agree with all of her policies, bro. Bro, bro. Shoot, when she went to the Breakfast Club, bro. Listen, I made probably like maybe like 3 or 4 videos doing that shit, talking about Dr. Jill Stein, all of that shit. You know, obviously I'm a Green Party member, all of this shit. So I'm making videos about this shit, trying to get people to understand, and because so many people in America, like America is we are the most propagandized idiots on this fucking earth, because we allow our military to destroy anybody on the face of this earth. We don't give a fuck. As long as we can get our cheap oil, we can still buy our jeans for $20. But now shit is kind of getting kind of crazy. Now motherfuckers is looking like, damn. Motherfuckers like, damn, why is shit starting to get so much more expensive? Now people are starting to look at it. So we had this, bro. You're a little bit younger, but we had this thing happen in 2008, 2009 called Occupy Wall Street. Do you remember that? But you're probably in high school at the time. Oh shit! So 96. Damn, you was only like 12 when that last joint hit. Yeah, so you ain't know. But we had Occupy Wall Street. Let me see. 2008. I probably was 20. Yeah, I was like 25 at the time. Yeah, I'm definitely a millennial. Unfortunately, because these niggas done turned fucking liberals. But yeah, like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? When you look at a lot of this shit going on, like a lot of these people, bruh, like we saw this shit, bruh, and that's why like when I did that debate with Yara. I thought it was such a dope debate because I wanted to wake up people, because people had fell asleep. Like this whole system had rocked niggas to sleep, and I was like, man, let me try to wake people up to what the fuck is really going on, because this system is really not for us. Like, if we're being honest, it should be, the poor, the working class versus the billionaires, but at this point now it's the left versus the right, because we can look at all of the crazy shit that the people on the right, they listen to everything Donald Trump says. They listen to this bullshit. They think tariffs are fucking good. They look at all of, bro, when the last time you been to the fucking grocery store, bro? You see everything is so much fucking more expensive. Everything is crazy. Like, they don't understand none of this shit. But the left keeps saying, and I use left loosely because I don't consider liberals left, but that's how America looks at it. But the left looks at this shit like groypers is right enough. Yes, that was the dude that killed Charlie Kirk. He was a groyper. He was a groyper. Yeah, Nick Fuentes. Yeah, yeah. They're not right enough. Man, bro, believe it or not, bro, believe it or not, there was always a distance. But what happened is you were a little bit younger. So you say you was born in '96. So when Obama first came in, you was what? Let me see. Nah, you was only 12 years old. No, no, I'm not saying you didn't remember. What I'm saying is like he came in and no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that you was only 12 years old, so you didn't fully understand what was going on at the time. Because at the time, black people, before that, black people, we always understood that America was a racist motherfucking place. You know? Yeah, like we just we always understood that shit. Like that's not something that ever left us. But what white people are doing now, they're saying, "Oh, Obama is the one that separated us and caused this whole shit." But that's really not true. What happened is when Obama came in, what you had all of these racist motherfuckers that decided to show their racism. But before that, it was really quiet. But when Obama came in, they began to show their racism to where it was external, to where they would, be overt about it. But before that, like shit was quiet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll go watch a movie with a bunch of white people or whatever, there was nothing. But then you started to see what? You started to see the uptick of what? You started to see the uptick of white motherfuckers starting to blow up shit more, start to shoot shit more, start to shoot up shit more. You start to see it. Right. Right. So and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right, right. Yeah, like shit just picked up. Yeah, yeah, shit really picked up. Even with the African brother out there back in what was that, like '99? Like shit was just like slowly picking up and it was getting to a boiling point. So like white people want to make it seem like, oh, Obama did this, but nah. These crackers was always fucking racist, bro. They always was racist. And what they like to hide, what? Yeah, bro, exactly, bro, bro, all of that shit, bro. Even I forget the one dude. Shit, I forget his name. He was the minister of war, whatever the fuck his name was. Yeah, he was a light skinned brother. Yeah, like it was always some bullshit, bro. That was popping like, but we wasn't like the shit never really reached a fever pitch. But us as black people, we always felt that shit, bro. Colin Powell, that's his name. Colin Powell. Colin Powell. Yeah, yeah, it was never exacerbated, but it was always there. And us as black people, we always, yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Trump. Yeah, listen, Trump is the one that made waves of that shit because before shit was a little quiet, and then Trump, once Obama got in office, because we was all listen, black people was all on some shit like, oh man, he's black, da 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 da. Da. Yes, it did. It did. He wasn't born here. Yep. Yep. Right. He would always say Hussein because that was a dog whistle. That was a yes. 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 Man, that shit, bro. I'm telling you, bro, after 9/11, bro, the xenophobia went up to fucking 10, like 12. bro, that shit went up, bro. I never forget where I was when the Twin Towers fell, bro. I was in the 10th grade. I was in my fucking social studies. No, I was in my science class. I was in my science class. My teacher had the TV on, and she was just like, "Oh my god!" And then I never forget that day. They cut school. They told everybody, like, called parents to come pick niggas up. All of that old shit. I never forget that day, bruh. When that, cause like that was something that was abnormal as fuck. That day, bruh. Everybody just went home that fucking day, bruh. Everybody went home that day. Like niggas wasn't in school, and then like when you came back, I think they cut school for the day after that. I think it was, what is it? I think it was like, no, matter of fact, it was a Monday. I think it was a Monday. And then we took like a day off, and then we came back on some shit. And I remember, I'm like, shit, I ain't got no family members in New York and no shit. Like, I'm from the South, nigga. I ain't got no family members in New York or da 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 da. But I remember looking at that shit in the whole world, like, shit was never the same after that, bruh. And then I remember, niggas did the shock and all campaign, went and just bombed them niggas off of what, the Israeli president, at this motherfucker. Niggas just went crazy over there and just started killing these motherfuckers, bro. Millions of these niggas. It was just open season on them people, bro. Nobody, bro. Yeah, yeah. Because, but it was a lie though. All of that shit was a lie, bro. Like no Afghani had nothing to fuck to do with that shit, bro. But everybody just hated Muslims for that shit, bro. Everybody hated. Yep, 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 yep. Same shit, bro. Yeah, it was a sad shit, man. Because I remember I signed up to go to the army on some shit. I signed up. I went to the whole shit. I swore in all of that, and then I remember them niggas came to get me, like to pick me up. I went to MEPS, all of that shit. I went to the whole shit. Them niggas came to get me, and I remember my sister was there, and I was like, man, tell them niggas I ain't here. Them niggas came to the door. Them niggas came to the door. I was like, tell them niggas I ain't here, man. I ain't going for that shit, bro. I ain't finna die for these crackers, bro. I'm not finna die for these crackers. My sister was crying. She was like, man, I don't want to see you go and die. And you going to the army. I signed up for the army and shit. And then I was like, yeah, you right, man. I ain't finna go die for these crackers, bruh. I'm not finna do this shit. And I'm glad I ain't go do that shit, man. I would have got killed out that bitch, bro. I would have got killed out that bitch. And, they was gonna front line my dumb ass. I was like, nah, let me stay my black ass right here in Miami, Florida, and do some other shit. I said, fuck this shit, bro. I ain't doing it. And then them niggas came, and you know they couldn't find me. My sister told them I wasn't there. They came over one more time, and they just stopped coming looking for me. Cause they tried to scare me. They was like, yeah, when we come get you, you gotta come, or if not, if you don't come, we gonna take you to wherever the fuck, and you'll go to jail and all of this shit, like army jail. I was like, bitch, y'all gotta confine me first, bitch. You gotta confine me first, bitch. I ain't going. So yeah, I went to that shit, bro. I went to the whole shit. I did cause when you go to sign up, you gotta swear in with the flag. You gotta do Your medical, they make you do a duck walk. All of this shit. Make sure your knees good, your back good, your arms good. Shit, I was 17 at the time, so they was waiting till I turned. They was waiting till I turned 18. So as soon as I turned 18, them bitches came to the crib. I was like, man, fuck this shit, bro. I was like, I'm not going to fight for this shit, bro. I'm cool, man. Like, this shit is, nah, you crackers ain't finna get me to die for this shit. By that time, I had to see everything on the news and seeing how these motherfuckers. Cause this is the first war that I ever seen. Like this, yeah, yeah. It wasn't some shit to where like like this shit was real live. Yeah, 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 yeah. It was. Yeah, bro. Because I was looking at that shit, bro. Because the first thing I swear to God, bro. The first thing I saw on TV was I don't know if you remember this shit, but this shit was on TV. They called it the shock and awe campaign. They called it the shock and awe campaign to where these motherfuckers flew nothing but jets over fucking Iraq for fucking like yeah, bro. These niggas was blowing shit up for like 4 days straight. Like they was trying to topple that shit. And I looked at that shit, bro, and I saw all of that shit, and I was like, nah, I think I'm good. Like that whole shit was crazy. Like I was like, nah, I think I'm good. I don't want to be. Nah, I think I'm cool off of this shit. I saw it. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was, bro. But the funny part about it is that's what it was in every war that America fights, though. But America won't tell you that. America won't tell you that they're just killing a fucking bunch of goddamn civilians. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when you look at in Gaza right now, like that's what they're doing in Gaza. Like, motherfuckers won't tell you that, but that's what they're doing. They're just killing up every fucking civilian to make sure that they won't pick up arms and go fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just totally destroying niggas, bro. It's a real crazy thing. And I saw that shit and I was just like, nah, bro, I think I'm cool. I said, fuck no, bro. I'm not going to this white man's army. I'm not finna fucking do it, bro. I can't do it. I just can't do it, bro. I saw that shit with my own eyes. Once I saw on the news that shock and all shit, they was just dropping bombs for like 4 days straight. And then now knowing what I know now, that these niggas had nothing to do with the towers falling. This was some whole other shit. They was talking about, oh well, Saddam has weapons of mass destruction, and the nigga never had this shit. Saddam never had it, bro. Same shit, bro. Same shit, dog. Bro, same shit, bro. I looked at that shit. I was like, nah, bro. I said, nah, I can't do it. I said, you niggas is on your own. You niggas is on your own with this one. I can't do it. Nigga, shit. I just went back, I smoked me a bag of trees. I was sitting back looking at this shit like, hell nah, you crackers is not finna have me in the middle of this shit. You are not finna do it to me. I can't do it. I can't do it. Hold on. Let me take a squeeze. I'll be right back. Fuck no. Yeah, I'm back. But yeah, man, I saw that shit, bro. Dead ass, bro. I had just turned 18, bro. I had just turned 18. This was like what, 2000? Let me see. When I turned 18, like 2002, 2003. Just graduated from high school. You know how you have all the niggas be at your high school, all of these motherfuckers. I said, nigga, no. The ING on my PIMP stands for I'm not going, nigga. Fuck it. I was out of there. I said, nigga, you is not finna have me going out here, nigga. See, and I was on some gung ho shit because uh, I remember my brother was like, man, I want to see you go, man. You know, da 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 da. I had my homeboys. It was like, damn, bro, I want to see you go. My sister was like, man, I want to see you go. But in my mind, I was like, nah, I'm gonna go, man. Shit, they give you niggas free college, and I can make good money, and this and this and this and that. When the bombs start dropping, and I saw that shit, cause I'm telling you, bro, I think I was like in the 10th, 11th grade when like the towers fell. Because you gotta understand, when the towers fell, it took like a whole nother year before they actually started to move in on Afghanistan. It took like a whole nother year. Yeah, because and see, at the time we didn't understand it, especially me as a kid. I didn't understand it because it's like, okay, the towers fell, niggas ain't know what was going on, but that shit literally took like a. Mhm, that's fact. Yeah, the Pentagon did get hit, according to what they say, by a fucking plane, but that shit looked like a fucking missile. I'm gonna be honest. When you really look at this shit, cause yeah, when you look at that shit, cause when you look at, cause they only got like about maybe 8 or 9 frames of the shit getting hit. That shit looked like something big hit that bitch. But man, I think that was a fucking missile that hit that motherfucker. I don't think that was no goddamn plane that hit that bitch. But the only thing that's like their saving grace, it probably was a missile on that motherfucking plane. The only thing that makes me think that it was a plane is because uh damn, I forget the name of that goddamn highway in DC. But when the plane so called came down, it went over the highway and the shit knocked down some actual fucking light poles. When the plane was coming down, it knocked down poles, and people actually saw a plane coming down. That's the only thing that made me believe it. That's the only thing made me believe it, is they had actual people who was just driving, going to work that morning, and the shit was so low that it was hitting light poles when it was coming down. So that's the only thing that made me think that it was a plane, but it was probably something on that bitch that exploded, because that shit killed like 30, 40 motherfuckers when it hit the Pentagon. Like, how the fuck? That type of explosion was crazy. Because the Pentagon, believe it or not, that motherfucker got so many outer walls, because it's built for that shit. It got so many outer walls, but just so happened you had like 40 motherfucking people that was sitting in these outer walls that got killed and shit. It's like, huh? How the fuck? Cause the Pentagon is supposed to be. Oh no, bro. Nana Sato says watch Fahrenheit 9/11, bro. Fahrenheit 9/11. No. You talk about the movie. He's talking about the documentary Fahrenheit 9/11, the movie maker, I forget his name. It's a documentary called Fahrenheit 9/11. Damn, what's that motherfucking name that made that movie? He made a documentary called Fahrenheit 9/11 to what actually talked about it, but it's only like I said, it's only about like 7 or 8 frames to where you see this shit, to where it's something big, but you really can't discern or make out what the fuck it is. But I do think it was a plane, just because there was so many people that was just driving that saw the shit, and when they came down, no, that's 66. Yeah, DC. Is it 66 in DC? Y'all from DC, tell me, cause I forget. I ain't lived in DC in a minute. I think it's 66. The plane came over 66, the highway, and it knocked over Michael Moore. Yeah, that's his name, Michael Moore. Is the filmmaker. When the plane came down, it knocked over about like 5 fucking, cause you know on a highway they got the lights, and them shits is up. So when the shit came down, it knocked over about like 5 or 6 lights, cause it came at an angle and it ran into the building. But the way how that shit blew up was just something different. It was something different. So when you look at Fahrenheit 9/11, the only video you got is from the guard booth. From the guard booth, because the guard booth had a rolling image, rolling video, and you just see about 7 or 8 frames to where it do, 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 do. You got to think, this is back in 2001. Niggas ain't have 4K footage, all of this shit. So it did kind of look like a plane, but the way how that shit blew up and killed people, to where if you look at the Pentagon, that shit penetrated so far in that shit, it just doesn't make sense to me. Because the way how the Pentagon is built, it's built to where it's supposed to be like a safe haven for, the DOD, Department of Defense, but now they call it shit the war, which is stupid. But the way how the shit was supposed to be built, I don't know. It was just a lot of shit at the time. Even with how the towers fell, even the whole shit about how the towers fell, you had Tower 2 fell. The one that got hit second, that shit fell first. The one that got hit second, that fell first, and then the other one fell, and then you had another one fell that wasn't even like really even close to the shit. That shit just felt like a demolition. Like, I think that, listen, I personally think that planes hit that motherfucker. Nigga, I was in class. Nigga, I watched the planes hit the bitch. There was planes that hit that motherfucker. But the way how them towers fell, bro, there was some kind of demolition that happened. The way how them bitches just pancaked and fell on top, impossible. Bro, if you watch that movie Fahrenheit 9/11, bro, they break that shit down that it's impossible for them shits to fall the way how they fell. They were not supposed to pancake to where you had the 150th floor. It's supposed to just fall down on each other like that. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. The only way that happens is through demolition. It was never supposed to fall like that. Because even if you say, oh, okay, well, they did. Both of them did. Both of them did. But they only exploded. This is the thing. The planes didn't go through the entire building. They hit one side of the building, exploded, and it was on fire immediately. When the planes hit, they exploded immediately. Like it was just a flame of fire. Soon as they hit, poof, it was just a flame of fire. The motherfuckers exploded. But the motherfucker was on fire for like 2, 3 hours. And then out of nowhere, you started to see the buildings begin to pancake and fall down on each other out of nowhere. And they both did the same thing. But see, you can say, okay, well, let's just say that the buildings when that the planes hit just pancaked on top of each other and fell down in perfect succession. Let's say that. Let's say that, right? But guess what? You had WTC 7, World Trade Center 7, because they all had numbers. You had World Trade Center 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You had all these big ass buildings. You had World Trade Center 7, that bitch just pancaked too. World Trade Center 5, another building next to it, none of these buildings got hit. These bitches just pancaked too. That were nowhere near the shit. Hold on, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up so you can see it. Because you're going to lose your mind. You're going to be like, how the fuck is this possible? That these bitches could just fall on top of each other. Like, watch this shit. It's fucking retarded. Here, let me here, go to the YouTube video. Cause I'm about to show you this shit. I'm telling you, bro. I used to study this shit back in 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was one of them. I was one of them World Trade Center crazies, bro. I was one of them niggas. Like, how the fuck? Cause I never believed the official story. Hold on. So you see this building right here. Why the fuck does this building have random fires? Look at this shit. You see how big this fucking building is? Why is it this building has random fucking fires on this goddamn floor up here and random fires on this floor the fuck down here? Why? Where the fuck are these random fires coming from?
Building 7 in the World Trade Center complex is on fire and has either collapsed or is collapsing.
They said World Trade Center number 7, it's on fire. So this building is on fire. It never got hit by nothing. Now watch this. These other buildings had already fell. 1 and 2 had already fell. Why is it all of these other big ass buildings around them, they never fell? But watch this. World Trade Center 7, this bitch just falls just like every other building.
Keep your eye on that building. It'll be coming down.
You see what he say? Keep an eye on that building. It might be coming down.
It's about to blow up. Moving back. Is building 7 at the World Trade Center, and that building is in danger of collapse as it continues to burn.
According to authorities at this moment here in Lower Manhattan, and that is the growing fear that another...
Look at that. At this point, what you have the Twin Towers. Them bitches done fell already. Why would this building fall and none of these other motherfucking skyscrapers fall around it? But this one didn't get hit, just fall.
Another building in the World Trade Center complex, which was not struck by an airplane, is in danger of collapsing.
You heard what he said? Which was not struck by an airplane, but it's in danger of falling. How? Because it has some fires? WT7 had some fires like 50 floors up, but it's in danger of falling? Why the fuck is it in danger of falling?
Medical student. He was down there. He was trying to help people. His name is Daryl.
Yeah, so I was just standing there. You know, we were watching the building actually because it was on fire. The bottom floors of the building were on fire, and you know, we heard this sound that sounded like a clap of thunder. Turned around, we were shocked to see that the building.
You got fires on the 50th floor, but watch what happens to this fucking building. Fires on the 50th floor. No fires underneath. There's people that was there's firemen that was on the first floor. They got trapped on the first floor when the whole building came down on their fucking head. And they tell you there was no fire nowhere. No fire nowhere. They were trying to work their way up to the 50th floor of World Trade Center 7 just to get people out. It wasn't struck.
Thing was, well, it looked like there was a shock wave ripping through the building.
There's still concern about a building right there.
And the windows all busted out, and you know, it was horrifying.
One of those buildings, building 7, I believe we said, in danger of collapsing.
Miller realizes that 7 World Trade Center is next to fall.
See where the white smoke is? You see this thing leaning like this? It's definitely coming down. There's no way to stop it.
No tall building had ever collapsed primarily due to fire.
No building has ever fucking failed due to fire. It's never fucking happened before. Ever in the history of buildings. It's never happened ever in the history of buildings. But a fire on the 50th floor is going to cause this whole building to fall the fuck down. Stop it.
But that's exactly what investigators believe happened to the 47-story World Trade Center Building 7 on September.
Had moved back from that building before, which you're about to see again here on videotape, knowing that fire could not be fought because of the instability of the structure, because of the fire that had burned since shortly after 9 o'clock this morning.
Dana Tyler is joining us.
That shit just came the fuck down. It just came down. The shit didn't get hit by a motherfucking plane. When you had the first plane hit Tower 2 like on the 80th fucking floor. The second plane hit Tower 1 on like the 70th floor. Why the fuck did this shit just start burning out of nowhere? Out of nowhere. The shit just started burning. There was nothing that would cause this building to go on fucking fire the way it did. Look at this. Look at this shit. When you look at all of this smoke right here, that's not from this building. That's from Tower 1 and 2 that already fell.
Came back 20 minutes later, looking like a preschool just moving covered in plastic. I swear to God. But you got good shit, man. That's some good shit. Then we went back there.
Whoa! If anybody out there can help, any vendors who have food or supplies, the firemen have no food, nothing but snacks. They need fluids, they need water, and they need protein foods. This is just the beginning of what they're facing. So we need masks. We need TB masks.
And what did your favorite president do? For all of these people, you know what these buildings were filled with? They were filled with asbestos because they were so fucking old. And you know what your favorite president did? He said, hey, I'm going to stop supporting the firemen that actually went in these buildings that are old and fucked up now, that went to these shits 20 years ago. We're going to stop supporting these people. We don't need to be giving these people any money no more because they have lung disease, heart disease, and all of that shit for going in these fucking buildings, for being around this area during 9/11. He stopped the funding for these people. This is what your favorite president did.
This is what the president that grew up in New York City. He grew up in New York.
Yes.
And still no fucking sympathy for the people that were first responders to this shit.
He still cut off the funding for these people that after all of this rubble had dropped, there was so many people, bro. The asbestos was in the fucking air for damn near 3 months, and these people were still over there trying to pull people out of the wreckage. You had firemen, you had everybody, police officers that was trying to pull people out of the wreckage, bro. And Donald Trump turned off the funding so these people can no longer get health care. He turned it off for them. He turned it off. He turned it off for them, bro. That's fucking disgusting. That's disgusting that he would turn that off for those people, bro. Hold on, let me play a little bit more.
Went down.
What just went down?
World Trade 7.
It did.
Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself.
Describe that.
Now we go to videotape the collapse of this building.
Look at that shit. The building just comes down.
It's amazing.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. It's very unfortunate. All of those people that was in that building. The good thing about it, they did evacuate most people that were in that building, because when that building came down, Tower 1 and 2 had already been hit for about 2 hours at that time, because I think it took like about 2.5 hours for because see, Tower 2 got hit first, and then Tower 1 got hit, but Tower 1 came down first, and then Tower 2 came down, which is, you know, some totally whole other shit. Because it's like, damn, if Tower 2, you know, it's like, why the fuck is this shit coming down first? But, you know, it is what it is. But, I don't know. You would expect for, if a building got hit from one side and the shit is burning, you would expect for the building to lean and then come down, or that top piece to lean and then come down. No, the whole building just came down, just pancaked on top of each other. It just came down, because it's like, if the shit got hit from one side, you would say, okay, well, if this shit is burning, then all of the trusses and everything that's there is burning, and, you know, it would lean to the right, lean to the left, and then that top piece would lean to the left or right, and then the whole shit would then just drop. It didn't do that. Tower 1 and Tower 2 just dropped in on its own footprint. Just dropped in on its own footprint. Just dropped in on its own footprint. It was the craziest shit ever. Here, let me see if I can find Fahrenheit 9/11. So you can see oh, they got it on YouTube, so you can see this shit. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, this shit was crazy, bro. I remember this shit as a
Get down to Disney World.
And Bush. Transparency. There's nothing.
Bro, this is the day that the whole world in America just changed to where there was no more privacy. Everything just changed after this day. After this day, nigga, when you went to the fucking go get on the plane, nigga, that's where the body scan started. All of this shit, everything changed after this day. Nigga, when OJ killed what's the name, he was able to kill the bitch, drop the fucking murder weapon in a goddamn garbage can. Couldn't do that today.
Have that chance to experience college and show them that the American people are not here to rule Iraq.
Let me see what
cost the government will pay you.
War.
Is under attack.
Oh, this is it right here. I remember this shit right here. I remember
hitting
this.
the World Trade Center, where terrorists had struck just 8 years prior. Mr. Bush decided to go ahead with his photo opportunity.
He was in Florida. He was in Florida.
Read this word the fast way. Get ready. Mad. Yes, mad. Get ready. Mad. Yeah. Okay, get ready to read the words on this page without making a mistake.
When the second plane hit the tower, his chief of staff entered the classroom and told Mr. Bush, the nation is under attack.
I remember this shit, bro. Oh, I remember
Not knowing what to do, with no one telling him what to do.
Because he couldn't just get up and be like, oh, shit. He was like, damn, shit. They cut that shit short, and he got the fuck up out of there.
And no Secret Service rushing in to take him to safety. Mr. Bush just sat there and continued to read My Pet Goat with the children.
See, that would never happen today. Today, if Donald Trump found out some shit has gotten attacked in America, they would grab that motherfucker. They would be all on top of him. They would be pushing him to safety because there may be a sniper or some of that shit. He wouldn't be able to sit there and read no book. That wouldn't happen today.
Nearly 7 minutes passed with nobody doing anything.
I remember this dude right here.
As Bush sat in that Florida classroom, was he wondering if maybe he should have shown up to work more often? Should he have held at least one meeting since taking office to discuss the threat of terrorism with his head of counterterrorism?
And the crazy part about it is what they tried to tell us. What they tried to tell us is like once these meetings with Congress and all of that shit started happening, they started telling us, well, we knew that there was a threats of violence, of terrorism, all of this shit. This is what they started to tell us. That, oh, we knew these threats of violent terrorism were, on the rise, and it was possible this was going to happen. They even told us, bro. They even told us that they were watching these people. Who supposedly Muhammad Atta and these niggas, they said they were watching these people. They said they were watching these people, but didn't fucking do nothing about it. This is how you know it was just some other shit, bro. It was some whole other shit. I never forget it.
Or maybe Mr. Bush was wondering why he had cut terrorism funding from the FBI. Or perhaps he just should have read the security briefing that was given to him on August 6, 2001.
So there was a security briefing, all of this shit, bro. All of this shit just lined up too perfect. Like, I remember looking at this, bro, and I was like, what? Everything lined up. Now, don't get me wrong. They get terrorism briefings every fucking day. But when the U.S. government came out and said that they were actually watching these people and they were following these people, I was like, yo, you mean to tell me y'all just let this shit happen? Like, how the fuck y'all just let this shit happen? What does that sound like? Doesn't that sound like October 7th with the Israelis? Doesn't it sound like October 7th with the fucking Israelis, and now they got a reason to fucking go and just wipe out the fucking Gazans? Doesn't that make sense? Because the Israeli IDF, Israeli Defense Force, say the same thing. Oh yeah, we knew they was gonna do something. We knew they was gonna do something, but y'all didn't do anything to counteract it. Y'all saw these people building this and building that, and y'all did nothing to fucking stop it. And then boom, October 7th happened to where these so-called all of these motherfucking Gazans just kill all of these Israeli people. Now, guess what we have? Now we have the opportunity to just fucking outright murder and kill as many fucking Gazans as we want to. America did the same fucking thing. Same thing.
Which said that Osama bin Laden was planning to attack America by hijacking airplanes.
They knew this shit. They knew it. They knew this shit was gonna happen. They knew it. But in the way he was supposedly gonna do it, Osama bin Laden. But come to find out, Osama bin Laden didn't even do the shit.
But maybe he wasn't worried about the terrorist threat because the title of the report was too vague.
I believe the title was Bin Laden Determined to Attack Inside the United States.
A report.
That's the lie they tell us. Well, I think the term was, well, he decided to attack inside the United States. Well, did you not take it seriously? Of course we didn't take it seriously because it's never happened before. Same shit they doing right now in Gaza. Well, we didn't think that the Gazans would actually go in and just kill 1,000 fucking Israelis. We never would have thought that. We never would have thought they would do something that fucking crazy. Even though they're under surveillance 24 fucking hours a day. Really?
A report like that might make some men jump. But as in days past, George W. just went fishing. As the minutes went by, George Bush continued to sit in the classroom. Was he thinking, I've been hanging out with the wrong crowd? Which one of them screwed me? Was it the guy my daddy's friends delivered a lot of weapons to?
And that's who they fucking attacked. And this is who they attacked. After fucking 9/11, they chose to attack this person. They chose to attack this person. With all of their fucking intel, they decided to attack this person, of all people. But see, Israel did the same shit with Gaza. Pay the fuck attention. They got the whole world to understand, hey, it was these Muslims that did it. So now that we want to go and kill Saddam Hussein, nobody's going to be opposed to it. Why? Because he's just another fucking Muslim. This is what they did. They got Americans to think, oh man, it was some Muslims that did this shit. So then, when they went to Iraq and they wanted to kill Saddam Hussein, nobody would ask any questions. Why? Because he's a fucking Muslim. They did this shit. They killed millions of fucking Muslims in Iraq for no fucking reason. For no reason. These people had nothing to do with this shit. But every single fucking American person was okay with it because they felt like this is our get back. This is our get back. Saddam Hussein had nothing the fuck to do with 9/11. Nothing whatsoever. This is why they had to start doing well, he has weapons of mass destruction. They had to give you another lie because the first lie was bullshit. They went into, why is it that these people that so-called, why is it that these people that so-called blew up the World Trade Center were not even fucking Afghani, not Iraqi, not Afghani, not Iraqi, but we lit these motherfuckers up. We lit them up. Why? Why? Could it be possibly, maybe, potentially the same reason we just destroyed that boat in fucking Venezuela is because Venezuela has what? The most fucking oil reserves in the fucking world? Because they have the most oil reserves in the world. Come on, man. Y'all better pay attention to this shit.
Too? Was it that group of religious fundamentalists who visited my state when I was governor? Or was it the Saudis? Damn, it was them.
Oh, they got such a problem with Islam. Why they not attacking the Saudis? They got such a problem with Islam. Why they not attacking the Saudis? Oh, is it maybe because the Saudis are giving them the fuck what they want? Is it because the Saudis are now giving Donald Trump a big ass fucking plane? Could that be? Is that the Saudis are playing ball? And the Saudis know better? Listen, man, we just gonna play ball with y'all. We just gonna give y'all this oil because we know we can't stop you niggas from taking it. We can't stop y'all from taking it. Because if you wanted to come and take it, you just gonna fucking take it. Could that be it? Bro, people don't even think about this shit.
I think I better blame it on this guy.
It's crazy.
In the days following September 11th, all commercial and private airline traffic was grounded.
The FAA has taken the action to close all of the airports in the United States.
Even grounding the president's father, former President Bush, on a flight forced to land in Milwaukee.
Thousands of travelers were stranded, among them Ricky Martin, due to appear at tonight's Latin Grammy Awards.
Not even Ricky Martin could fly.
This is when it started. This is when it started. This is when the body machines came in. This is when everything started. This is when everything started.
Fly. But really, who wanted to fly? No one. Except the Bin Ladens.
We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do.
We had some airplanes authorized at the highest levels of our government to fly to pick up Osama bin Laden's family members and others from Saudi Arabia and transport them out of this country.
It turns out that the White House approved planes to pick up the Bin Ladens and numerous other Saudis.
So explain this to me. Explain this to me. So we were supposedly against the Bin Ladens, but we allowed the Bin Ladens to fly first class out of this motherfucker and just do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. Is this what you're telling me? It's just so stupid. Like, bro, they play American people. They play on our intelligence so much to where we're just so stupid. And we just believe the official story, and this is just what it is. And we just believe in it.
At least 6 private jets and nearly 24 commercial planes carried the Saudis and the Bin Ladens out of the U.S. after September 13th. In all, 142 Saudis, including 24 members of the bin Laden family, were allowed to leave the country.
Do you hear that? All of these motherfuckers were able to leave the goddamn American country. They didn't stop them and hold them and say, hold on, what the fuck y'all doing? This could be this or this could be that. They didn't stop them and hold them there. They let them just fly off and just leave. First class. On your whatever the fuck. Bye. But 8 months later, they're bombing their whole shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Osama's always been portrayed as the bad apple, the black sheep in the family, and that they cut off all relationship with him around 1994. In fact, things are much more complicated than that.
You mean Osama has had contact with other family members?
That's right. In the summer of 2001, just before 9/11, one of Osama's sons got married in Afghanistan, and several family members showed up at the wedding.
Bin Laden.
That's right. So
they know so much about this fucking dude, Bin Laden. They know that his family members is getting married, this and this, that, this and this day, and all of this shit. They know so much about this fucking dude. But we're over there bombing Afghanis and destroying their fucking lives. Just killing motherfucking kids left and right. Just popping niggas' tops left and right for no fucking reason. But they're letting the Afghani, the Bin Laden family just do whatever the fuck they want to do. Go where they want to go, sleep where they want to sleep, do what they want to do. How? What the fuck is going on? Why is the American government allowing these people to just do all of this shit? Why? Why are they not holding these people? You want to know why? It's because they fucking knew from the very beginning that Osama bin Laden didn't have shit to do with this shit. And they also fucking knew that the Afghanis had nothing to do with this shit either. They was trying to get that motherfucking oil.
not cut off completely. That's really an exaggeration.
We now welcome to Larry King Live. Good to see him again. Prince Bandar, the ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the United States.
We had about 24 members of Bin Laden's family. And in America, students and His Majesty felt it's not fair for those innocent people to be subjected to any harm. On the other hand, we understood had a high emotion, so with coordination with the FBI, we got them all out.
This is retired FBI agent Jack Clunan. Before 9/11, he was a senior agent on the joint FBI-CIA Al-Qaeda task force.
I, as an investigator, would not want these people to have left. I think in the case of the Bin Laden family, I think it would have been prudent, hand the subpoenas out, have them come in, get on the record. You know, get on the record.
That's the proper procedure.
Yeah. How many people were pulled off of airlines after that coming into the country who were what? They were from the Middle East, or they fit a very general picture.
We held hundreds of
and
weeks and months at a time. Did the authorities do anything when the Bin Ladens tried to leave the country?
No, they were identified at the airport. They looked at their passports and they were identified.
Well, that's what would happen to you or I if we were leaving the country.
Exactly.
So a little interview, check the...
They were identified and they were let the fuck go. This shows you that these motherfuckers had nothing to do with none of this shit. The Americans knew exactly that these motherfuckers had nothing to do with this shit, because if they had anything to do with this shit, what the fuck? They're not gonna stop them? They bombed their country already anyways. What the fuck is stopping them gonna do? What are they gonna say? Well, if you don't let our people go, we're gonna bomb you. Fuck! They still bombed these people and killed all of these motherfuckers. But they didn't stop them. They didn't let these motherfuckers, they didn't have a problem. The reason why is because they understood that these people ain't have nothing to do with this shit. So they let them go, because they knew these people ain't have nothing to do with it. So the whole fight was what? With Afghanis, that these motherfuckers ain't have nothing to do with this shit. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. This shit is wild. When you really start looking at this stuff, bro, and going into it, it's really wild.
Passport, what else?
Nothing.
I don't know about you, but usually when the police can't find a murderer, don't they usually want to talk to the family members to find out where they think he might be?
You have no idea where your husband might be.
Well, if you should hear anything, let us know, will you?
You willing to come downtown and give us a statement?
This gonna take long. You got the time?
Mine's worth money, yours isn't.
Send in a bill.
I asked you a question.
You're here to answer them, not ask them.
Now, you listen to me, cop. I pay your salary.
All right, sit down. I'm gonna earn it.
Yeah, that's how cops do it. What was going on here?
I think we need to know a lot more about that. That needs to be the subject of a significant investigation. What happened? How did it happen? Why did it happen? And who authorized it?
Trying to imagine what those poor bastards were feeling when they were jumping out of that building to their death. Those young guys and cops and firemen that ran into that building, never asked a question, and they're dead. And families' lives are ruined. And they'll never have peace. That's right. And if I had to inconvenience a member of the bin Laden family with a subpoena or a grand jury, do you think I'd lose any sleep over it? Not for a minute, Mike.
No one would question it.
No, it's right.
Not even the biggest civil libertarian.
No, it's
no
just,
one would question
it's just, you know, you got a lawyer, fine. Counselor, fine. Mr. bin Laden, this is why I'm asking you. It's not because I think that you're anything. I just want